Come on, Annie. Let's go to the movies.
This is the Cinereelists, episode 725. My name is Kyle.
My name is James.
And my name is Zach.
And we're here to talk movies, movie lists, and movie obsession for the next hour or so. James, you said your name with such confidence.
Did I?
Yes, you're like, my name is James. And I was wondering, were you unconfident about that? And that's how you got so confident saying your name?
I don't know. I just said my name.
What was the confidence you were
really
feeling versus the confidence you portrayed to us?
I feel like I said it the exact same way I say it every week, pretty much.
Okay. Well, there's something different this time around.
All right. Fair enough.
A certain je ne sais quoi.
When I was younger, I didn't go as James. I had a different name.
Was it Albert? Should we guess?
It was Prince Albert, actually.
I doubt it was Prince Albert.
The wrestler.
Did you go by
Okay,
Michael?
Not the other thing.
Did you go by Michael?
No. Why would I go by Michael?
Jim?
Not Jim.
Jimmy.
No.
Jamie.
Jamie. I was a Jamie through third grade. And then I switched schools, and also I went to my given name instead of my nickname because I was tired of other kids making fun of me for having the name Jamie.
I mean, I know kids can tease for anything, but why would they tease you for Jamie?
Because Jamie is a cross-sex name, or I don't know what you'd call it. Cross-gender name. It can be for males or females. And when you're in third grade and there's a girl in your class who's also named Jamie, for some reason, they don't tease her. They tease the boy.
And how'd that make you feel, James?
I mean, not excited.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous Jamie? Is it Jamie Lee Curtis?
Jamie Lannister?
What?
That's a fictional character.
Is her name
famous,
Jamie?
though. Pretty famous.
No, Jamie Lannister, the Kingslayer.
Female, you mean?
Yeah.
Most
no,
famous
you just said
Or
female.
just famous. I think, is Jamie Lannister more famous than Jamie Lee Curtis?
Maybe. Just from a generational perspective, Game of Thrones was so big, and I'm not sure Jamie Lee Curtis.
Here's my thought about. Hold on. Here's my thought about Game of Thrones is so big.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was part of the cultural conversation. Everybody talked about it. And you go to the late night shows and they're talking about it. But like, most people didn't watch Game of Thrones, right? It's like low double digits number of millions that watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's my bubble. Everybody I knew watched it, but
Yeah. But I don't think
maybe there were. That's why I feel like the generations, like younger generations, I feel like watched it.
Yeah.
Maybe the older ones didn't, but the older ones would be the ones that know Jamie Lee Curtis.
Across all platforms, an average of 46 million viewers per episode, which is 1 in 6 Americans.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
No, it's a lot for TV, totally. But that means that 280 million Americans didn't watch it. You know what I mean? And that's also a lot.
Right. But can you name like a Jamie Lee Curtis movie that many people saw that's relatively recent, like within Game of Thrones period?
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
She was in it. Yeah, but I'm not sure people.
Oh, actually, that's Jamie Lee Curtis. She won the Best Supporting Actress for that movie.
I also don't think young people care about that either.
They don't care about. I think more young people saw Everything Everywhere All at Once than old people did.
I'm
Okay,
talking
Knives
about
Out.
somebody winning an award at the Academy.
Knives Out got 49 million.
Oh, that's right.
hours
She was
viewed.
she was in Knives Out.
Yeah. I will absolutely concede that Jamie Lee Curtis is a more recognizable name than Jamie. What did I say? Jamie Lannister.
Jamie Lannister.
For sure. I'm not going to argue that. I will agree that is true.
I don't know if I even believe that.
I searched most famous Jamie, and Jamie Foxx came up, and I think that's a good challenger.
Yeah,
for sure. Jamie Foxx is very famous.
He is super famous. I don't know why he's famous. I will say, I think Jamie Lee Foxx is
Jamie
like
Lee Foxx.
Jamie Lee Foxx. I think Jamie Foxx. I assume all their middle names are Lee. All the Jamies. I think Jamie Foxx is a generational talent. I think he's a quadruple threat. I think he's very, very talented.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we all know him from? Because he's not like in a lot of things anymore. So how do we know Jamie Foxx?
I mean, we knew him from In Living Color, if you were watching that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say he made his big breakout. I mean, like Ray, right?
Ray?
That was kind of like
But
got him
how
on
many
the
people
map.
saw Ray?
A ton of, I don't know, look it up. A lot of people saw Ray.
A lot of people.
Even if a
Also
lot of
won
people
Best Oscar.
didn't see it, he won best actor that year.
And if they didn't see Ray, they probably saw Django Unchained.
And Jamie Foxx is oddly a best-selling musician as well. He's been
That's what I'm saying.
He's been on a ton of tracks that have nothing to do with movies that were monster tracks.
And he's funny. He's a really talented guy.
It's been a while since he's been doing that, but there was a run there where like he was on Kanye West songs that were like huge songs. And he's I don't necessarily love Jamie Foxx. He's not top tier for me, but he can do some good things here and there.
I can't think of a Jamie Foxx movie I've seen in the last 5 years. I think we watched some bad one on Netflix. Like it was a drug one. Like they took drugs and got super powerful. It was a pandemic movie. It might have been called Power for all I know.
I don't remember.
Yeah. But other than that, I cannot think of I guess did he appear in Spider-Man No Way Home?
Don't,
because he was a Spider-Man villain, wasn't he?
Don't remember.
Okay.
He was Django in Django Unchained.
Yeah, he was Electro or something. And
Electro in the Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies.
Right, but he wasn't in the one where they brought back all the Spider-Men, right?
I don't remember. That's what I'm asking.
He might have been in that one.
I don't
He might have
remember
been in
either.
that one.
No Way Home. I thought he was, but okay. Either way, I can't think of a lot of recent Jamie Lee Foxx. Yeah, I gotta say it now too.
Jamie Lee Roth.
Jamie Lee Roth or David Lee Roth? You call him Jamie Lee Roth?
Yeah, see?
He is credited in No Way Home.
Okay, yeah.
Since then, he did God is a Bullet. They cloned Tyrone, which was all right.
Oh, yeah. I remember hearing about that one.
Strays, The Burial, Not Another Church Movie, Back in Action, and Tin Soldier, which I haven't heard of any of those. But before that, he was a voice in Soul. He was in that awful Robin Hood movie where he was Little John. Remember that, Zach?
Oh, yeah.
He was in Baby Driver 2017, which was a while ago, but not terribly a long time ago. Well, 9 years ago at this point. All right, let's move on. We have plenty to do than discuss Jamie Foxx of all people. Why are we talking about Jamie Foxx? Point is, third graders suck. They will make fun of you for anything. They will literally drive you to ditch your nickname. That's what happened to me.
I changed my name in 5th grade.
Okay. From what?
From Zach with a K to Zach with an H.
Oh, that's
Really?
right. You changed his XCH. Yeah.
Interesting. And that was just because you felt like it?
I thought it was more sophisticated.
Okay. I mean, my son Zach is a CH, so I'm partial to that too. I think you made the right choice.
Thank you.
Your parents were wrong.
It was never that. My full name is Zachary, which has an H.
Which is CH, yeah. It was Zach Morris with a H or a K?
With a K.
I thought so, because he was Zach Attack.
Yeah. So he wasn't Zach Attack, but I was bucking a trend.
Sure. You know what? My dad used to call you Zach Attack. Like, you're like, oh, is Zach Attack coming over? And I was like, no one calls him that.
Yeah, no one says that.
Yeah. But my dad did. So.
The Lego Maniac.
Yeah.
Oh, was Zach Attack the Lego Maniac? Was that what it was?
There's no Zach Attack. That's just a phrase.
Okay,
there's no.
Hold on.
There's no Zach Attack.
Zach Attack is a singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not what you're referencing.
No, that's not what I'm referencing at all.
That's just what Google served you. Is it Zach Attack is a singer with 40 followers on Instagram?
No, he is part of the greatest throwback party band ever. The Ellipses before the end.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So.
Zach, clearly you were named after him.
Yeah. Before they even knew he'd be around.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on because this is a top 10, last 10 episode. These tend to be long because we're going to talk 10 movies each. that we have seen recently and rank them in order of preference. So we need to dive right in sooner rather than later. Before we do all that, though, we need to remind everybody there's a video version of this podcast on YouTube. Go check it out there. Search Cinereelists. Subscribe and watch while you listen. You could also support us on a Patreon, patreon.com/Cinereelists. We appreciate any and all support you might throw our way. If you follow the Patreon, support us there. You'll get extra after show audio amongst other Cinereelist swag. You could also leave us an Apple Podcast review. That's free, 5 stars only. We'd appreciate that. Or send us an email, heyguys@cinereelist.com. Literally send us anything. We will likely discuss it on a future episode. You could send us your latest top 10, last 10, meaning just take the last 10 movies you watched and rank them in order and fire them off to us. Maybe give us a little commentary on why one's at the top, maybe one's at the bottom, maybe more than that, whatever you want to do. Also, via email right now, we have a impromptu contest going for a vintage 2002 M. Night Shyamalan Signs shirt. The same one I'm wearing right now.
Is it signed?
It's not signed. It's just
Signs.
From the movie
It's
Signs. It does say M. Night Shyamalan's Signs on it.
So M. Night. So is it? It's signs, but not signed.
Right. It is not signed.
It's signed, but he did it in black Sharpie.
What, you think I could? How do you get a black T-shirt signed?
Silver Sharpie.
A silver Sharpie. Yeah.
Okay. How hard do you think I could actually get one signed by M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah,
I think you could. Yeah.
How?
Go to Philadelphia because we all know he lives there.
We know that. I didn't know that. Zach, did you know he lives in Philadelphia?
No.
Right.
Well, okay. Every single
Is
okay,
Kyle
maybe he's
a
from
secret
Philadelphia.
M. Night fan?
Well, every single one of his movies takes place in Philadelphia.
Do you know his exact address?
Is that
Kyle?
true?
I don't want to say every single, but I'm going to say the vast majority of his movies take place in at least Pennsylvania, if not Philadelphia.
I'm pretty sure that Island movie did not take place in Philadelphia. Old.
Oh, here we go. 8 years ago, they bought a house on an estate in the countryside of Philadelphia.
Who knew Kyle was keeping such close tabs on where M. Night Shyamalan lives?
I thought that was a thing that everyone knew, that like all his movies are set in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia.
I've never heard that, but now I'm very aware of it for sure. Okay. We got
Guys,
we got sidetracked again. The point is, wait, let me finish this. Then you can check in all you want. All right. If you want to win a vintage T-shirt, brand new, just never worn and sat in a box for like 20 plus years, send us an email. The only criteria is you have to send us an email and you have to tell us why you deserve the T-shirt. That's it. We already have a few people who have emailed in. I don't know when this contest ends. It's probably like when it started. Whenever I feel like it's over, pretty much. Once I get one where I'm like, well, it definitely wasn't that, so it's one of the earlier ones. That's when. And so, hey guys at Cinereelists.com. Links are in the description for any and all of those things. Zach, check us in.
Okay, I want you guys' opinion on something.
Okay.
That I did not do, and tell me if I should have done it. Okay. I think the answer is no. But did you know that 4 days ago, Disney's Robin Hood was playing in a theater in San Jose, California?
Mm-hmm.
They had a whole event where they paired, cocktails with it or whatever. And the son of the director of the movie gave a talk after.
The son of the director.
Who's the director?
Robert Reitherman, who died a long time ago because the movie came out 50 years ago.
Yes.
The movie.
Okay. So Robert Reitherman is the son.
Ago?
Wolfgang Reitherman is the father of the director. So I didn't decide to fly to California just to go see this movie in the theater. But should I have gone to go with a bunch of other super fans and watch a movie I love in the theater and then hear a talk from the director's son?
Was this a nice theater or just like some suburban theater?
It's a nice theater.
Okay.
Was it like the Dolby
Does it matter
Theater
how
or
nice it
Man's
is?
Chinese Theater? I think it
No,
does.
it's in San
No,
Jose.
it's San Diego.
San Jose.
Okay.
San Jose.
Was it like Quentin Tarantino's theater? I forget the name of that one, but
No,
These
it's
are all
just-
LA locations you're naming again.
I know. I think if you already wanted to go to California and you like wanted to knock out a couple other things, I'd say you should have done it. But if you
Nope.
did not care about any of that, that's a long way to go. Probably like a $300 to $500 plane ticket just to watch a movie you could watch here.
It was $300. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would have had to fly back that night.
I think you're okay. It's not that it's obviously it's a movie you love. It's not a rare movie. It's not like it's a 70 millimeter print of it.
Well, rare in that, like, when am I going to get a chance to watch it in the theater?
What year did it come out?
73.
Oh, so we passed the 50th already, didn't we?
Yeah. That was
Okay.
last year.
So we wait 7 years.
Or not last year, but yeah, you get it.
I think you will get another chance.
With the director's son giving
No.
a presentation.
Well, you might get another chance at that. I think they're all going to be in California and they're all going to be on the
Yeah.
same issue. But
What insight, besides the fact that the guy's related to the director, do you think he has any insight, or is he just like is he paraphrasing his dad's biography? I mean, because this guy was probably a child if he was even born when that movie came out.
how old is this guy?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him. I would just imagine he was born in 1950, so he was 23.
Okay, so he was at least aware of what his dad was doing.
Oh, he was the voice of Arthur in Sword in the Stone.
Oh, I thought you were telling me he was the voice in Robin Hood. I was like, what kind of fan are you?
Okay.
No, he was the voice of Arthur Wart in Sword in the Stone.
Okay.
I forgot that he did that.
Is that the same director?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When you said Robert Reitherman, like who? But then you said
Wolfgang.
Right?
Yeah.
Reitherman. I was like, oh yeah, that guy. He did. I think he did like Sleeping Beauty also, didn't he?
Robert Reitherman.
Wolfgang, his father.
Wolfgang. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Wolfgang. Yeah.
So he kind of did that era of Disney movies.
I don't think I could do that. Like, my conscience couldn't spend that kind of money on one screening without the actual director being there. But if you did it, I wouldn't judge you for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, but
Right.
it would have been so cool.
It would have been cool. I agree. It was kind of
I
like
think
when I planned a trip to Europe and then found out that the place where they filmed
Mission Impossible.
No. The Cornetto trilogy, the movie with the
Hot Fuzz.
that they were having like a festival in the city where they filmed Hot Fuzz. It just lined up, but there's no chance I would have scheduled that trip just to go see Hot Fuzz.
Right. You just were happy that
Now-
it was serendipitous. Yeah.
Hot Fuzz is not my favorite movie of all time. So if you're asking me, if you put Empire Strikes Back, I'm going to see Irving Kershner's son talk about it. Irving Kershner?
Yeah.
That's
Irving
his name,
Kershner.
right? And I have to fly $300 to go to that. I still think it's a no. Because who cares about his son? I don't care that much.
I think his son actually directs movies.
I still don't care. He didn't direct Empire Strikes Back.
Or did Lawrence Kasdan? No, Lawrence Kasdan did Jedi, right?
No, Lawrence Kasdan is the name I was looking for. It's not Irving Kershner.
Yeah, Kershner did Jedi. Kasdan did.
Right.
And
I knew that
Kasdan's
was
son is
wrong.
Jay Kasdan, who is a like legitimate Hollywood director.
Yes, I know.
So I don't know. I it might be worth to go see Jay Kasdan. talk about Empire.
$300? No. $300 before hotel, transportation. That's a lot of money for a movie I could just watch at home and probably get the same amount of legitimate insights into it.
If I had, I think Leon Vitali is. I think he's still alive. He was the kind of the guy who worked for Kubrick, was as close as Kubrick had to his son. If I had a chance to see 2001: A Space Odyssey, have you 70 millimeter print in a theater with Leon Vitali then talking, I would probably spend the plane ticket to do that.
You would spend like $500 to get that done on your own.
I mean, this is a hypothetical because it's not going to happen, but yes.
Let's say the opportunity was in front of you.
Is my kitchen complete or not?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There will always be something. That's a big chunk of money, enough to be like, is this really, you know what I mean? A wise use of money.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, Zach, I think the consensus is, I think you were okay. We're not judging you for not doing it. It would have been cool if you happened to have been in San Diego at the time.
San Jose.
I got okay. James was saying San Diego, it threw me off. If you're there at the time and it happens, I'd be like, oh, what a cool opportunity.
I don't think I said San Diego, but it's fine.
Roll back the tape.
I was saying all the LA spots, but I never said San Diego.
True. Maybe I was confusing myself then.
All right. You guys ready? Anybody else got to check in?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Top 10, top 10, and top 10, and last 10, and last 10, and last 10, last 10, and top 10, top 10, and top 10, and top 10, and last 10, last 10, and last 10, and last 10, and top 10.
This is our top 10, last 10. I briefly described what it was, but let's reiterate. Zach, what is a top 10, last 10?
You know, it's a unique thing that we do to the show. We love ranking movies. A lot of times we do a list where all the movies have something in common. This one is no different. However, the thing that they have in common is they're just the last 10 movies we've seen. So it ends up being a pretty eclectic list. We are going to each take the last 10 movies that we've seen, rank them against each other 1 through 10, with 1 being our favorite movie of the last 10 that we've seen.
Nice. It's one of my favorite episodes, and I'm excited to do it with you guys. Why don't I go first with my number 10 from 2018, Prospect, which is an American science fiction movie starring Sophie Thatcher, Jay Duplass, and Pedro Pascal. And anytime the name Jay Duplass enters the chat, that normally means it's probably what do they call those? The low budget movies?
Mumblecore.
It was probably like Mumblecore adjacent. I think this was scripted, and I think Mumblecore technically has to be unscripted. Is that right, Zach? To be truly Mumblecore?
It has to include some improvisation. It doesn't have to be completely unscripted.
Yeah, I didn't get the vibe that was this, but it's definitely a lower budget sci-fi movie filmed primarily on a planet that looks like a forest on Earth, even though it's not. So it's a bunch of people walking around the forest in spacesuits and kind of like one-upping each other, I would say, trying to get the edge on each other as they kind of hunt for this big score. And a lot of the planet has been mined. I think that's where the name Prospect comes from. Anyway, interesting movie from Pedro Pascal for sure, because he's doing this like weird affectation through it where he's like talking like the Queen's English for some reason when nobody else is doing that. He's like using a lot of $10 words for no reason. But I found it interesting. I didn't necessarily not enjoy it, just felt it was a little thin. Probably the bigger story is that I was recommended this by an AI chatbot.
Okay.
That literally only works through text messaging, and its sole job is to find you movies that you haven't seen before. And so I sent it my Letterboxd account, and then it started glazing me because of how many movies I had seen. And I gotta be honest, I chatted with it as if it was a real person for way too long, and then eventually told it, okay, you can stop now. Just give me a recommendation. You do not have to compliment everything I say to you. But anyway, Prospect, if you're into low budget sci-fi, or you want to see yet another Pedro Pascal movie, as long as those are the two things you're looking for, Prospect, a decent choice. My number 10.
Okay.
That's been on my watch list for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go next, Zach, just because I also have a low budget sci-fi movie.
Okay.
I feel like they pair together, and then you can bring us home. Finish out the episode for us. We'll give you that gold spot.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. My number 10, also a low budget sci-fi movie. This is The Astronaut from 2025. This movie stars Kate Mara. She plays an astronaut who returns from space. She lands in a pod similar to like the Apollo pod or the Artemis 2 pod that lands in the ocean. Her pod is all cracked and broken up. She's unconscious. And the NASA and the military is kind of curious to know what happened to her upon reentry, what happened to her in space. She has no memory of it. So they seclude her in a house that's like a CIA black site just to let her kind of recuperate and normalize psychologically. And weird things start happening in and around the house while she is there by herself. Lawrence Fishburne plays her dad, who is also the the head of the army or something like that. It's very poorly explained. He has adopted her, if you're kind of curious to know how Lawrence Fishburne plays Kate Mara's dad. And that plays into it. And this movie is just kind of stupid. It's poorly written. Not a lot of interesting things happen in it. When something's going to happen, it's very foreshadowed when they're like, oh, by the way, there's a panic room over there. Like, oh, okay. Let's store that for a little bit later in the movie. There is a twist to this movie that's very dumb and predictable. There is CG in this movie that is terrible. And this whole story was done on the Outer Limits in the 90s for about half the amount of time with much better results. So I would not recommend checking out The Astronaut from 2025 starring Kate Mara.
You really didn't like it?
No, did not like this movie at all.
Okay. My number 10, it's going to offend one of you, but just keep in mind, I didn't hate this movie. I gave it 2.5 stars. Okay.
Okay.
I did not hate this movie. I felt very neutral about this movie. So who do you think I'm going to offend? Who feels pre-offended?
Me.
I think you're going to offend me. Okay. Interesting.
My number 10 is Good Fortune.
Kyle.
Oh, I'm a little offended.
Yeah, I'm offended, Kyle.
Yeah. I'm okay. I'm not like super offended. I thought your number 10 is going to be like, I don't know, Annihilation, which I know you hate anyway.
Well, that terrible movie.
But it's something along that caliber, like a top 100 movie, not like movie from 2025 I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Okay, Good Fortune, movie from 2025 that Kyle enjoyed. It's directed and written by Aziz Ansari, which fits. And it stars Keanu Reeves, Aziz, and Seth Rogen. And Keanu Reeves is a low-level guardian angel with big aspirations. And so he starts meddling above his pay grade. And he swaps Seth Rogen and Aziz Ansari's lives. And then the fallout from that. And I like body swap movies or, lifestyle swap movies. And I enjoyed that premise. And I like Seth Rogen in this movie, actually, quite a bit. I've really enjoyed older Seth Rogen more than I thought I would. Aziz, he's a little dopey. Sometimes he goes dopey in movies. He's a little dopey in this one. And then I was a little off-putted by Keanu, his role in this. He's a little, I don't know, stodgy. I maybe that's not the right word. He's a little like off kilter, like intentionally a little strange in this movie. Like he's got a affect to the way he talks and stuff. And it's just like, I don't know. I didn't care for it. Now I get and then it does the thing where like, oh, he's human now. And he's like, ooh, cheeseburgers are delicious. Have more. Let's order 16 cheeseburger, that kind of thing. And it's like, okay, yeah. He's never had food and he likes it, kind of a thing. That makes sense. It was fine. Pretty neutral about it. Good Fortune. My number 10.
I thought it was funnier than that, but yeah, it's not like a top 10 movie of the last year or anything like that.
Yeah.
I've been stalling on this one. I'm glad Zach was kind of the canary in the coal mine.
I'm like, hey, the coal's great, guys. No methane down here. Come on in.
Normally I trust you. On this one, I didn't for some reason. I was just like, I know Kyle likes this, but I just cannot pull the trigger on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of exactly what you think it would be with a little bit of weirdness.
Okay.
It shines a lens on our modern gig economy.
Maybe I don't need 2 hours of shining a lens.
No, it's very much like, how are we supposed to live when we don't earn a living wage? And it's like, let's go on a strike. Okay. Written by a millionaire with his millionaire friends.
Yeah, but he feels for the little people.
Yeah.
If he won't tell their story, who will?
Nobody.
Exactly.
All right, my number 9 is from 2025. It's a movie I missed from last year titled Dust Bunny. This was recommended to me by listener Logan. It's a fantasy action film. I read the director somewhere saying it is a family horror movie. And I'm not sure. I mean, maybe if your family is like older children, maybe they could watch this, but it's basically like John Wick or Nobody smashed into a Terry Gilliam movie. But the John Wick style action is like bloodless, but they're still shooting each other and like throwing knives at each other and stuff like that. But for some reason, it's all bloodless. And it happens while a CGI bunny is coming up from the floor and trying to eat people. It's a weird movie, I would say. If you like kind of old school Terry Gilliam movies, this is doing a decent modern impression of that. If I had a big gripe with it, it's that the sets were clearly a mixture of green screen and physical sets. And some of the green screen, to me, was distracting. Or virtual sets. I don't even know if it's green screen. It might have been the volume or something like that. But it was just very obvious that that's what they were doing in certain spots. Some of the CG, especially with like the flooring moving when the bunny kind of like a la Jaws kind of hunts people down in the apartment, looked really cool. Whenever the bunny came out, it looked pretty bad. I think that was kind of intentional. Like they were trying to make like a realistic, crazy looking bunny. I think they were trying to kind of emulate stop motion, like animation, in making the animation itself look choppy. And like they weren't trying to hit a realism, but at the same time, I found it distracting and just kind of felt like, I guess you probably couldn't make this movie with physical effects because it would take too long and be too expensive, considering the tools that you have these days. But it just would have worked so much better for me if they had just like done stop motion animation with the bunny parts and done physical sets and just lived with those limitations. Instead, they wanted to do things they just probably couldn't accomplish with the tools they had to do it physically. So they did it digitally. And it bothered me for sure. But I did find the movie interesting. It's a weird toned movie. I'm not fully sure who it's actually for because again, I think it's maybe skews too young for like teenagers, but I'm not sure you would let somebody much younger than that watch this, even as a family, just because the violence, despite it being bloodless, is definitely there. Lots of guns, lots of karate fighting, lots of knives. Meanwhile, this little girl's at the heart of it, and she has this bunny that's like attacking everybody around her. Anyway,
is it scary or is it more violent?
No, not scary. I personally was not scared. I imagine a young person, a child, might be scared by that. A child could be definitely scared by this. It's all about a little girl who has a monster under her bed that nobody really believes is real until it literally starts swallowing people after it comes out of the ground. So I could imagine a young child that's sticking with them for sure. But overall, it's an interesting movie. Not a full recommend for me because of the issues I stated, but there's something there that makes it interesting at least. And so I wasn't upset with the watch for sure. My number 9.
All right. My number 9 is actually a movie that I added to my watch list when I was a listener of this show.
Oh, okay. That was a while ago.
Exactly. This is like pre-2020. Based on the fact that I believe you talked to possibly the director of this movie or someone who's involved in the creative process of this movie.
Okay.
And this is 2017's Beyond Skyline.
Oh, yeah. I talked to the director.
That's what. It was you. I can't remember exactly.
It was like a week Zach was out, and so I got the director of Beyond Skyline to come on the podcast.
Do you know how you got the director? You remember how you got this director?
Yeah, I do. I followed a guy on Twitter back before it was a garbage heap, and this guy posted funny reviews from Amazon reviews related to movies. And he was popular on Twitter at the time and had a bunch of filmmakers following him because his account was funny. And he had like, I don't know, DM relationships with a couple of the lower level directors that were following him. And this was one of those guys.
Okay.
And so I had the Amazon review guy on the podcast, and then he was like, "Hey, I could probably get you some people." And I was like, "Get me whoever you want." And he's like, "You want the director of Beyond Skyline?" I was like, "I haven't seen that movie, but I'll watch it." Anyway.
Well, okay. So that leads us to then a couple weeks ago, I need to watch a movie. I'm like, you know what? This has been my watch list for like almost a decade now. 2017 movie. Might as well pop it on. And this movie, I believe, is technically a sequel to a movie called Skyline.
Mm-hmm.
Though I think it takes place concurrently with the events of Skyline. It's sort of like it's a sequel, but it's happening at the same time. It stars Frank Grillo, and he's like a cop during an alien invasion. And the aliens abduct his son, and the whole idea is that they can turn you into one of them or sort of harvest your brain to make you into another alien. And he goes onto the spaceship to find his son and fight the aliens. Eventually the spaceship crashes in Indonesia, and the guys from the raid pop up and they start karate kicking some aliens, which that was pretty cool. But overall, I found this movie to be kind of lame, kind of forgettable, as sort of like just a Netflix movie of the week style movie where the alien design was kind of cool. The action was fine. The plot was a little silly. The stuff in the raid guys in Indonesia, I don't know why they were in the movie. It just kind of felt like hey, are they available? Let's get them in there for a while. That was pretty cool because I like their style of martial arts a lot. But overall, in this movie, I was underwhelmed by it. So apologies to Liam O'Donnell if you're still a listener of this podcast, but didn't quite work for me.
Sure. I like that movie. I mean, it's not top 700 for me, but the turn to the raid guys in the middle of the movie saved that movie for me.
Oh, it's by far the best part.
Yeah, it's so unexpected, and when it happens, you're like, this is not the movie you've been selling me so far. Up until this point, it's been like Frank Grillo shooting aliens with a handgun or something. Which is what the entire first movie was. The entire first movie is like a super low budget of Beyond Skyline. And Beyond Skyline's not a big budget movie.
No, it's not.
So, the original Skyline movie was made by VFX guys. They had never directed anything. And so they took a tiny budget and made a movie that had a lot of effects in it and not much plot. The other thing I really love about Beyond Skyline, this has nothing to do with the main part of the movie, is did you stay through the credits?
This was a while ago, a couple weeks ago. So I've watched a lot of movies since.
You would probably remember this. In the credits, they show behind the scenes of the movie, and they show like the guys in the alien suits on the stilts and stuff like that. And
that's right.
It's like a blooper reel for a sci-fi movie. It's
a blooper reel of the action sequences, right? You see the guy in the shoes, and the suits are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's cool. Right? You kind of see the blue screen connectors in there, and they're doing their stunts, and like, oops, it's kind of like a Jackie Chan blooper reel in this like sci-fi action movie.
It's just so weird because no sci-fi action movies do that. This is the only one I can think of that does a blooper reel.
They never show you like the behind the scenes either, the aliens. So
right after
that's
you
right.
saw
I
the
forgot
movie.
about that. That was pretty cool. I do remember now that you bring it up. So
that was like when I watched the movie, I was like, okay, I think this movie knows exactly what it is. You don't do that in the credits if you think this is going to be a classic sci-fi movie. You know what I mean? I
think if the movie had kept the tone of the middle with the raid guys, I would have enjoyed it more. But the first third and the last third are so serious with like Frank Grillo trying to save his son that I needed more of the who cares? Let's just martial art these aliens.
Sure. 200 people on Letterboxd think this is a 5-star movie.
Oh, good for them. That's. I mean, I could. It's silly enough where I could see you being like, yeah, this is a ridiculous movie. I love it. 5 stars.
I gave it a 3.5, but that might be because we had the director on the podcast.
Sure. You had a little inside information.
Well, I just probably liked it. I can't help it. That probably affected my opinion of it a little bit.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But, well, because of this podcast, I did watch that movie. So
nice.
Thank you for the recommendation.
No problem.
All right.
Zach,
what's your number 9?
Okay. My number 9 was a movie that I liked. So no one get offended if you liked it a whole lot more. I just kind of
so many. Is this going to be every movie? Just don't be offended by what I'm about to say.
Less and less as we go up.
Okay.
My number 9 is Frankenstein from 2025.
Okay.
I waited to watch this movie until I read the book. I wanted to read Frankenstein first because I never read it, and I read the book and enjoyed it quite a bit. Watched the movie, and it held, for the most part, close to the book, I felt. But the look and feel of it is just kind of not my cup of tea. It's Guillermo del Toro film, which, he's not my favorite director, probably because he does lean it more into that gothic kind of styling, which obviously it's a Frankenstein movie. Like that's exactly what should be gothic. But it's not an aesthetic that I particularly enjoy. It's a big part of why I don't like Tim Burton movies. This one had a wide camera lens the entire time, which is also an aesthetic I tend to not enjoy for the most part. It's why I didn't like The Revenant as much as I could have. And then I was a little weirded out by the monster. The look of him just was so strange. It was not at all like what I pictured for the monster.
Was he too pretty?
Yeah, it was too smooth, I guess. I don't know.
Agree.
Yeah. It was odd. There's some really good cosplays or renders of Frankenstein's monster that are exactly what I thought it should have been, but this one was too pretty. Just smooth, I guess. It was fine. I liked it. I was glad I saw it and exist, but I didn't really like it.
Okay, fair enough. You're not the first to criticize kind of so he made Hellboy with that fish monster, and then he made the movie that he won, The Shape of Water, with the similar looking fish monster, and now Frankenstein kind of looks like a fish monster for some reason.
It's that same long and slender design that he's used. Yeah.
He also did it in the other one that's Spanish language that everybody loves.
Pan's Labyrinth.
I think
all three of those are played by the same guy.
Sure.
It's just Jacob Elordi is the new guy, but I think it's Doug Jones or something like that plays all those other characters.
Yeah, I think you're right. So yeah, that's his vibe, and if you're not into it, it's clearly what he wants to do, because that's what he's been doing for 20 years now. In between robot kaiju movies and a couple other things that were a little more out of the box, maybe. All right, my number 8 is from 1980. It's The Long Good Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Which I had never seen. It's a Criterion watch for me. Blind Buy. It's a movie directed by John McKenzie, starring Bob Hoskins and Helen Mirren, and also a very young, what's his name? 007.
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan
Yep.
in his first movie role. If you would consider what he's doing in this movie a role, he's like barely in it.
Does he even talk in this movie? I can't remember.
If he does, it's almost nothing. He basically doesn't have a character. He's essentially a thug.
Yeah, he's like he's a heavy kind of, yeah.
Right. But it is wild seeing him on camera looking 25. I mean, he almost doesn't look like himself in the movie. But what's interesting about the movie, things that I enjoyed, was just seeing Bob Hoskins in something. Like, for some reason, my frame of reference for Bob Hoskins immediately goes to like Smee from Hook.
Mm-hmm. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
You're right. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Like very slapsticky, like
Mario Brothers. Yep.
Yeah, a little bigger than life roles. Whereas in this one, he's just this ruthless gangster guy who's trying to get control over his world, basically. The beginning of the movie takes place over the course of like a day and a half or something like that, and Bob Hoskins is a gangster who has everything under control in London. He has control over London, and he's trying to team up with the American mafia. They're coming for a visit, and meanwhile, somebody is like throwing a monkey wrench in the works or whatever. And so stuff happens, and he's trying to hunt down who's trying to mess up this combination, this team up. And meanwhile, the American gangsters arrive, and they're like, "What's up with this? We thought you had control. Should we be talking to somebody else here?" Type of thing. So Bob Hoskins and Helen Mirren were both really good in it. And I think that's what floats this movie, because on paper, what's happening is just kind of standard fare. It's a movie that definitely likes to talk about a lot, but not really show it. You know what I mean? Like there's no action to this. It's just moving around the city, talking to different people, trying to intimidate them. I thought the angle with like there's like some like queer, like gay gangsters that they're trying to leverage, you know, their secrets and stuff like that I thought was interesting for a movie from 1980. And how the Bob Hoskins character kind of like didn't like them because of that, but at the same time was also sometimes nice to them to get what he wanted. I don't know. There was just this weird through line. I'm saying weird just because I don't remember this being through plot lines from the late 70s, early 80s. But there's this other scene where his henchman is like taking a machete to a guy's legs, and they're just like keeping it off screen. And it was disturbing, but I just noted that like most of the violence was implied, or like we're about to do violence and then they don't, which is just interesting. I think I wasn't ready for that, but probably the highlight was getting to see Bob Hoskins and Helen Mirren kind of do their thing, maybe towards the height of their popularity as movie stars, possibly. I don't know. I don't remember when Bob Hoskins' height was, but I think I missed most of his height, and I ended up with Hook and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which I love those movies, but I do not see Bob Hoskins as a buff gangster when I think
menacing crime boss.
Right, for sure. But enjoyed my first watch in general on the Long Good Friday. Another movie recommended by an AI chatbot.
I like how this episode is turning into one of you might be offended by this opinion. Because mine is going to be one of you might be offended of this opinion for my number 7. This is a 1960s, or sorry, no, number 8. Thank you. From 1967, though. This is directed by one of your favorite directors, Jean-Luc Godard. And this is La Chinoise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This movie is about a group of French students in the late 60s who live in Paris. And they are, I guess, disciples of Mao, as in the Chinese revolutionary. Not direct disciples. They more study Maoism and his doctrines. And they want to bring their own revolution to French society. And they decide that the only way to do this is through terrorism and violence, because they really don't know how to inspire people or how to inspire revolution. So this movie is a bit of a satire. It's kind of poking fun at like college students who just sit around talking all day and, you know, espouse all these philosophical beliefs, but don't really do anything about it. But at the same time, you're just kind of watching college students sit around all day and talk about their political beliefs, kind of like those guys who would hang out with, who like had it all figured out. And you're sort of like, okay, you're like, yeah, you're young, you're full of energy, you don't know what you're talking about. And 90 minutes of that gets a little draining after a while. There is some, I guess, action catharsis towards the end of this movie, but it's mostly just hanging out with these kind of dumb young kids. I mean, not dumb, naive is probably a better word for them. Naive young kids who are, you know, obsessed with a communist revolution and decide, well, you know, mass murder is the only way we can bring this about. And everyone around them's like, well, you can't just kill people to inspire revolution. You have to have the revolution to then inspire the other aspect of it. So maybe in like 1960s France, this was a very biting movie, but I just kind of found it a little tiresome. And this is my fourth Godard movie now. And besides Alphaville, I've been kind of neutral to meh on all of them. So I may move on from Godard.
What are the four you've seen?
Let's see. I've seen, let me pull them up really quick. Breathless, obviously. Contempt, this one, and then Alphaville. And Alphaville I liked. I thought that was kind of an interesting, fun movie.
Okay, well, you certainly cannot quit Godard yet, because you have not seen his craziest ones yet.
Okay, so Zach, give me one more. Like, I will give Godard one more chance. And if I don't like it, I'm gonna say I'm done. So what should be, if you could give me one to say like this will be the one that will possibly save you?
What can I give you two, and you can be the decider of your own fate?
Sure. Okay.
Okay. One that I think is great. Well, first of all, you haven't seen Pierre Le Fou?
No, I've not seen Pierre Le Fou. I mean, I've seen four of his movies. I've seen four. They're all in like his top 10. It's not like I'm, haven't seen anything from him.
Okay. I'm going to give you three and you can be the decider of your own fate. Okay.
Okay.
One that's legitimately like awesome and I think anyone would like is Vivre sa vie.
Okay.
Okay. That one's just cool.
Okay.
Okay. Pierre Le Fou, you're not going to like it, but if you did like it, that would mean you're pretty cool.
I'm probably going to pass on Pierre Le Fou if I'm not going to like
movie
it. So.
If you liked it, but I don't think that you will. Okay. Sorry to say, no offense.
I think you should see Pierre Le Fou. I think if you see Pierre Le Fou and you don't totally like that, you're done with him.
Well, yeah, because choose your own adventure. But I'm just saying you cannot be done with Godard without seeing Weekend, because that movie is crazy.
I've heard you talk a lot about Weekend.
I haven't seen Weekend, but I do believe you need to watch those two movies, Pierre Le Fou and Weekend.
To give up on Godard before seeing Weekend is just, you've not scratched the surface. But
I think I have scratched the surface of Godard here. So
you watched some movie about Mao. That's not the Godard movie everybody points to.
Right. It's not in the top 10 that people talk about.
It is on Letterboxd. It is his number 9 most popular movie before Weekend.
How many does he have though? Like 10?
No, he has 151 movies.
Yeah. He directed 151 movies.
I don't know how many of those are shorts or other things, but yes.
Yeah. Into last year he was directing.
He's he died in 2022, so I don't say
his
last
movies
year,
were coming out.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, I have added Pierre Le Fou, Vivre sa vie, and Weekend to my watch list. I will maybe get to them if I'm feeling up for it. No promises.
I'm not cool enough to make Pierre Le Fou one of my favorite movies, but I did like that movie
for sure.
Okay.
And Weekend's insane. Okay.
All right.
My number 8 is a documentary called The Fall of Favre. And this is about Brett Favre, who, if you don't know, was quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. And Kyle and I are both from Wisconsin. we kind of grew up in an era where Brett Favre was the quarterback and like the most famous person in Wisconsin and kind of beloved, right, by the whole state.
Beloved, and he turned the Packers around from like a nothing team to a Super Bowl multi-Super Bowl champion,
to a cowboy destroying team.
Yes.
And I think well regarded nationally as like an incredible quarterback, right?
Yeah, and also just like a nice guy.
For sure. Just had a really good kind of American, reputation, right?
Success story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but had a very, very, very famous falling out. And so I watched this documentary, and it kind of goes into all the gory details, and it was well made, and I think gave an accurate picture of Brett Favre, which turned out to be pretty scummy, right? Not only did he send unsolicited pictures to people that he had,
professional relationships.
Professional, relationship where he had a lot more power than they did. But also he helped divert funds meant for like poor people to like build a volleyball stadium for his daughter. You know what I mean?
And that one was really recent, wasn't it?
Yeah, fairly recent. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the pictures happened like 20 years ago.
Right.
But he kept on scandaling.
Yeah. So it was a good documentary, a guy that everyone, could have looked up to, but then probably not a good idea to anymore. It was interesting, called The Fall of Favre. It was part of the Untold series on Netflix.
Nice. My sister and brother-in-law were like way into the Packers when Favre was like the main guy. He was like a big deal in their household, enough that they like went to some event at, before the sun rose at Disney in order to get his signature. And they were not excited when the fallout happened.
Yeah.
With the guy, because they had invested a lot of energy, I would say. But I mean, he made his money, so who cares, right?
Well, he made his money off of the backs of poor people.
Do you think? Do you think he cares that he's disgraced, or?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, I think as much as he obviously did what he did, I think he cares that he's not like the pillar of American sports that he once was.
Sure, that makes sense. I mean, he would probably have a killer commentary career right now if he wasn't such an idiot.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I imagine he would be who's the guy from the Cowboys who is now
Troy Aikman's doing
it right now, but he could very easily be in that world if he hadn't ruined everything for himself. All right, my number 7 is from 1997. And it is The Rainmaker, which I had never seen. This is a Francis Ford Coppola movie.
Yeah.
It's a legal drama. I think I mentioned it on the last episode, but we didn't get too far into it. So
no, you mentioned it. I'm having a little deja vu. So that makes sense now. Yeah.
It's based on the John Grisham novel of the same name. This cast in this movie is absolutely insane, especially for 1997. It's between Francis Ford Coppola and this cast. That's why I watched it, assuming that it probably wasn't very good because I don't think I had heard of this movie, or if I had, I hadn't fully soaked in, who was involved in it. But we're talking again, 1997. Matt Damon, Claire Danes, Jon Voight, Mickey Rourke, Danny DeVito, Virginia Madsen, Roy Scheider, and Danny Glover. Those are the names I recognize. If you actually look at the faces, there's probably a bunch of dudes from the 90s that are character actors that you will remember when you see them on screen. Maybe not their names, but definitely their faces.
You don't recognize Dean Stockwell?
No, I would recognize Dean Stockwell. He's in it as well.
Okay, cool. All right.
Not a great movie, I would say. Partially because it's 135 minutes long, And it just did not need to be 135 minutes long. I know Francis Ford Coppola can make long movies that can keep me engaged. Certainly. This was not that one. It was probably easily 30 minutes too long, if not 45 minutes too long. It's basically two movies. One where you're following young Matt Damon as a lawyer who's hasn't even passed the bar yet, who gets involved with a law firm that has a controversy. That is kind of the B plot line, despite the fact that they spend the first half of the movie dealing with that. The back half of the movie is the courtroom drama part where he is representing a family whose son died of leukemia. They're suing an insurance company for denying his coverage just long enough for him not to receive a bone marrow transplant that could have saved his life. So you got this young upstart lawyer with no resources going against the legal resources of a major health insurance company. So it's a, David and Goliath type story. Meanwhile, Danny DeVito is kind of assisting him as somebody as a lawyer. Danny DeVito plays a character who wants to be a lawyer, has taken the bar 6 times and just can't pass it, basically. But he's like kind of a savant when it comes to law. It's just the moment he goes to take the test, he can't pass it for some reason. So Danny DeVito is assisting him. Their dynamic is interesting because Matt Damon's playing the aw shucks guy, and Danny DeVito is kind of still playing the comedic relief. Danny DeVito feels like he's in a totally different movie than everybody else that's in this movie. Not that it was bad. It was just tonally weird because every time you go to him, they're cracking jokes or like, I don't know. It's just the vibe was very serious through most of it, except when Danny DeVito was on the screen. And so that weirdness on top of the fact that it's kind of 2 storylines in one, both of which, well, at least the first half felt dragged out. That's why it didn't rank higher. That being said, I enjoyed watching it. I'm glad to check it off my Francis Ford Coppola list. From what I understand, this is by far not the worst of his filmography. There's a bunch in the 2000s and 2010s that people are saying nearly unwatchable, like Twixt and a couple other ones that I haven't seen. I'd like to knock out his whole filmography someday. Got one step closer with The Rainmaker. Probably not doing myself favors leaving the worst for last, but that seems to be the direction I'm headed with this filmmaker. But yeah, if you like 90s casts, if you like good enough Francis Ford Coppola, that's what this is. The Rainmaker from 1997.
I was 14 when this movie came out. I remember the trailer playing all the time. Like being 14, I was like, I like serious movies now, and I want to see The Rainmaker. Never seen it, but it was a movie that felt like an important one to watch at my age at the time.
Just a little bit of trivia. For some reason, Danny Glover decided he wanted to be uncredited in the movie, which is odd, which is very odd. And so I've been trying to figure out why he made that decision. Nobody knows.
Really?
I mean,
maybe he felt too old for that.
There's no. Okay. There's no definitive reason. There's lots of theories, but none of I don't understand it. He played the judge in the case and he was good and there was nothing controversial about his role. I can't imagine why you would want to be uncredited in a Francis Ford Coppola movie. It doesn't make any sense to me, but maybe when I do my movie mystery podcast, that'll be an episode.
Could do a deep dive into why Danny Glover didn't want to be in the movie.
I still want to do that. I have no room to do it in my brain, but I do want to do a movie mystery podcast where you just try to solve mysteries around movies. One of them could be why Danny Glover got an requested uncredited in 1997's The Rainmaker.
You should also find out who really directed Judge Dredd, the most recent one.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right. My number 7 is a franchise that seems to have been tossed around on this podcast quite a lot recently. In like the last year or two, it keeps being brought up. And I figured I'd finally decide to dive in to this franchise. Now, I know Zach would have preferred I start with maybe the second one, but I had to go in order. So I watched 2014's The Equalizer, directed by Antoine Fuqua, which I'd never seen before.
The second one was the last one I watched.
Was the third one your favorite? What's your favorite
I think
one?
The third one's my favorite.
Was it the third? Okay.
The first one's pretty great.
So so this stars Denzel Washington. I know you guys know that. And he plays a mild manner Home Depot or home repair department store kind of employee, who has a mysterious and violent past, which I don't know if we ever fully explore. And this movie takes place in like a very Charles Bronson-esque Death Wish world where like everyone's corrupt, the little guy can't get ahead, and you just need like some violent voice to the people to solve everyone's problems.
Yeah.
And in this case, Denzel Washington, he's the equalizer. He is the one. He is that voice that the little people need. Specifically, this revolves around Chloe Grace Moretz, who is I think she's like a call girl, probably underage, is not quite sure in the movie, who works for the Russian mob or is being trafficked by the Russian mob. And Denzel Washington decides to take it upon himself to kind of save her and to wipe the Russian mob out of the city. At the same time, he's also helping out his buddy at work who wants to become a security guard, because that's like gonna be his big break to like get out of poverty as he gets that promotion. But he's a little round in the midsection, so he needs Denzel Washington to help him do sit-ups and work out a little bit, and also beat up the local mobsters who are doing racketeering on his mom's restaurant. So I didn't care for the world this movie built, just because it's a movie where like I said, no one can get ahead, and you need to have violence to solve your problems. That being said, the final set piece in the Home Depot like store where he kind of sets it up like with Home Alone style traps with all the various what's the word? Power tools. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty cool. So I enjoyed that part of it. I kind of wish maybe more of the movie was that creative. But I was just sort of waiting for the good action moments to happen in this movie.
I think Denzel Washington might be my favorite movie star
of all time.
I mean, I would say this movie is better because Denzel Washington is in it, because he adds credibility and gravitas to the role.
He really does. I mean, Matt Damon, I think, is my favorite actor.
Mm-hmm.
But Denzel, man, he's one for the ages.
I mean, he's no Marlon Brando, but what can I say?
He's better than Brando. For sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. Should I see Equalizer 2 or just jump right to 3?
No. You should watch all of them in order.
Any order. Doesn't matter.
In order.
Any order. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
In order.
Don't matter at all. Okay. My number 7 is called another documentary called Louis Theroux: Inside the Manosphere. This is the latest of a long series of Louis Theroux documentaries. He always has some great insight into strange subcultures and things like that. I've enjoyed his Scientology one and his one into the Westboro Baptist and all sorts of stuff. I like him. This latest one is into the Manosphere, which is basically influencers that all kind of share a message about how men are being mistreated by society, and like the importance of like getting men back on top, and like that's where men are supposed to be, and women need to stay in their place, and there's a whole like hierarchy and like ideology behind it. Anyways, I wanted to watch this because in the same way that like I'm just so intrigued by like cults and conspiracy theorists and serial killers and all those kind of like, just how do people fall down these rabbit holes and then like end up believing just very counter cultural stuff fascinates me. Same way the Manosphere guys fascinate me. I had seen all of these guys before pop up on YouTube and stuff like that. And so really there's nothing too surprising in this documentary. Again, these guys are very upfront about what they believe. So it's more exposes it to people that aren't familiar with them. But I thought it was really well done. It held my interest. It was interesting. He basically gave these people enough rope to hang themselves and look like, fools. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. And if you're at all curious about it, it's a good exposure to this kind of culture.
Nice. I came across a Reddit post, I think it was this morning or yesterday, of somebody who was like talking about their pre-teen or maybe early teen son, and how some of the rhetoric that their son started to talk about was definitely manosphere stuff. And so the post was like, how do I deal with this? Like, I don't want him going down that rabbit hole, but like, the more you push, like the message is designed to be authoritarian. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm a man. This is my role. You know what I mean? It's a lot of that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
it built in is like, your parents are going to tell you not to do it this way, but this is the way the world is. You know what I mean? That's how they ingrain into this. But anyway, the thread is super interesting. Like, as two dudes who are probably going to have to deal with this at some point.
Yeah.
I should probably send you the thread, because maybe there's some ideas in there that might, hopefully you never have to deal with it. I'm so glad I likely will never have to deal with that.
You probably missed the boat
person,
on that,
right? Living through that. Or maybe it'll be gone by the time.
Yeah. I think Andrew Tate was like more Googled than Donald Trump for a while there.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because he was in a Romanian jail for, trafficking. But
it's crazy that anybody wants to be in a photo with that guy, period.
Yeah.
In another age, he would be a pariah. For some reason, he's not. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But
and he's, from my perspective, incredibly unaspirational.
Sure. Yeah. There's a comment in that thread that blew my mind, because they were like, this is what you do. You get a hold of their account, and then overnight you load up a playlist with a bunch of videos you want to influence him. You set it on like 10x speed, and you let it play overnight, and the algorithm will have reset itself by the next morning. And you just keep doing that until they stop showing up on their feed. And then you go to those accounts, the persistent videos that keep popping up, and you just block those accounts one by one. And I sat here reading this thinking, that is kind of genius, and also very sad.
Yeah, it's so much work.
Very sad.
Yeah.
But maybe that's where we are right now. You have to like curate your own child's algorithm. I don't know. All right.
I've been doing that to James's algorithm for years now.
Oh, it's working, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Please keep up the good work.
Yeah.
I've been doing that to Zach's algorithm for James for years now.
Nice.
So this is Zach gets videos thinking, well, I think James will like this.
Weird human centipede we got going on with my algorithm here.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, my number 6, Christy from 2025. This is the boxing movie starring Sydney Sweeney, where she plays Christy Martin. Speaking of Untold, I think Christy Martin had an Untold documentary for herself as well before this drama of her life was made. I remember the documentary. While I was watching Christy, I was like, oh, this is that documentary I watched a few years ago. Anyway, Christy, directed by David Michaud, I think is how you say his. No, Michaud. David Michaud, who on accident, I've seen a bunch of his movies. The King from 2019. Rover, which I liked. Christy, Animal Kingdom, which I like a lot. And War Machine. And Christy, I enjoyed. This movie bombed at the box office, and if you read Letterboxd, you might think it's maybe the worst boxing movie ever made. I didn't think that. I think maybe that's just like Letterboxd being ultra left, and Sydney Sweeney is like, for some reason, not what they want her to be, or so. I don't know. I'm not saying there isn't criticism for this movie. It just feels like a little harsh on Letterboxd right now for this movie,
because they're punishing the actor more than the movie.
Maybe. I mean, David Michaud, if you like Michaud, however you say his name. Michaud. If you look at his filmography, he does not make happy movies. None of those movies are happy. Neither is Christy. It's like a female boxer who's like the best boxer in the world. And of course, she's being taken advantage by a bunch of dudes, including her husband, who not only is taking advantage of her financially, he's also beating her. You know what I mean? And like abusing her mentally and physically. It's that movie. And so it's also a movie where like she doesn't, spoiler alert, for the true story of Christy, not a happy ending for this movie, for this person, I would say, compared to her rise. And so I think maybe if you can't separate that, like it's not a female empowerment movie. It's a movie about a woman who gets abused until whatever. No spoilers here. Beyond what I've already said. I enjoyed it. I thought she was good as Christy. Christy, based on what I saw in the documentary, is not a charismatic person. Neither is Sydney Sweeney when playing Christy. That makes sense to me. Yeah, I enjoyed it for the drama, for the performances, for the pieces coming together. Is it an all-time classic? Probably not, but also not like a 1-star or 2-star movie. That seems insane to me. And I enjoyed it. My number 6.
Right. My number 6, I'm not sure how people on this podcast feel about it. I don't know if it has been discussed often. I know one person on this podcast loves movies by this guy. So we're going to see, kind of test the waters here. My number 6 is 1995's Waterworld, which I had never seen before until a couple weeks ago.
You've never seen Waterworld?
I had never seen Waterworld before.
That seems insane. I love Waterworld.
I was aware of it. I knew about its like production, and I think I've even like listened to podcasts about it, but never had actually seen it before. And I decided, I was like, oh, I had a bunch of time on my hands. I was recovering from some minor surgery. I'm like, you know what? We're going to put on Waterworld. Now, I'm going to caveat this. I just mentioned I was recovering from minor surgery. This is on the day that I had surgery, so I was on the good stuff still when I watched this movie. So that could have influenced possibly. I don't understand the hate of this movie. I think it's just a movie people decided because it bombed, we must hate it. But I thought this was kind of
people hate this movie. It bombed, but I think people enjoy it for being a fun,
weird,
scraggly
it's
movie.
So
I don't know.
Weird.
I feel like the internet, the internet in quotation marks, has decided that this is a bad movie.
I mean, it's not a good movie, but it's an interesting movie.
Yeah. It's essentially Mad Max on the water, which I thought was I like the aesthetic, the look of it. Kevin Costner is not playing a charismatic guy. Like, he begrudgingly rescues this mom and daughter. I'm not exactly, they get into it. Let's call them mom and daughter. He begrudgingly rescues this mom and daughter from pirates. I was going to say like water pirates, but obviously that is what pirate is. And, the girl has a map to dry land on her back, and he's kind of deciding, do I keep these people around or not? He's used to being by himself and, having resources for one. And now he's got 2 more people, and are they more of a burden? And he's kind of cranky throughout the entire movie, which I thought was super interesting. The action's fun, especially when they got jet skis involved and like the catamarans race around the water. Dennis Hopper plays the bad guy. He's just chewing scenery throughout this entire movie. Mm-hmm. Like he knows the kind of movie he's in, and he's just having a super good time in it. I don't think this is an amazing movie, but I had fun and I enjoyed watching it. I liked the look of it. It was not what I expected whatsoever. And yeah, it's sort of that Mad Max look to it. So again, it could have been the good stuff talking. I'm not sure, but I definitely had a good time with this movie. So
yeah, I like Waterworld, and there's a extended cut that I also think is worth watching.
What else happens?
So much. Okay.
I feel like they kind of covered most of it in this movie. So
okay, but I will say, just because I can't let this pass, a lot of people conflate The Postman and Waterworld together, right? Because they came out back to back. They're both post-apocalyptic, with starring Kevin Costner, and so people just lump them together. They are incredibly different movies in my mind.
The Postman's way more positive than this movie.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Postman's hopeful.
Yes,
but So I think they get unfairly lumped together when I think they're pretty different films, except on the surface. So
And Kevin Costner directed The Postman, correct?
I don't know.
Because he did not direct Waterworld. That I know for sure. You don't know.
No, I mean, I don't know everything about The Postman. Directing and starred Kevin Costner. So it's
Okay,
the
so it was-
Braveheart of the post-apocalyptic world.
The Braveheart. And then he also did Wyatt Earp. I feel like he had a string of bombs in the mid-90s.
Passion projects.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he had Dancing with Wolves, which everyone's like, okay, great. And then everything was like Wyatt Earp, and that bombed. Directed by Lawrence Kasdan, coincidentally. And then Waterworld and Postman. And people were like, what is going on with Kevin Costner?
Was Bodyguard in between there or before all that?
That was early 90s. So I would say that was before, but I don't know for sure.
I've never seen Bodyguard. Is that a must-see?
Actually a good movie. I think it's a famous movie.
I think it's a decent movie. Good. I mean, what is good?
I Will Always Love You.
Yeah.
Was that written by Dolly Parton?
Yes.
The same night as Jolene?
I don't know if it's the same night. No, she wrote it when she was leaving her not her producer.
Producer husband.
It's not a romantic song at all. Like she was kind of brought up by this famous country producer. I don't think they were a couple.
I thought they were.
And then once she got big enough, she was like, oh, I need to go out on my own and do my own thing. So she wrote that song kind of to him as I always thought it was a professional breakup song, not a love breakup song.
Are we talking Jolene here?
No, I'm talking I Will Always Love You.
Gotcha.
Okay, so essentially, yes, Jolene and I Will Always Love You were written the same day.
For the same person, or just coincidentally the same day?
I don't know who Jolene was written about.
Okay.
But yes, they were written the same day.
Wow, what a day for Dolly Parton.
Right? What a day for music.
Exactly. So
anyways, enough about that.
have you heard the Dolly Parton version of, or I guess the original version of I Will Always Love You?
Yeah.
It's great.
I
mean, obviously Whitney makes it her own, but the
Dolly Parton is, I need to make a list. There's like 8 people that Dolly Parton fits on. It's like a list of like kind of universally beloved people. They're like, everyone just kind of decided, yep, they are a good person.
Yeah.
There's like, Mr. Rogers, there's Dolly Parton, there's
Jimmy Stewart.
Maybe Jimmy Stewart. I don't know if I would put him on the list. Who's the old lady from
Golden Girls?
Golden Girls. Betty White. Yeah.
Betty White. Yeah. She's another one that's on that list, right?
What about Angela Lansbury? Does she fall into that category?
Yeah, she's kind of in the same list as like Tom Hanks. Like no one has anything bad to say about them. I don't know if they're on the
Betty White level
list.
of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We're just everyone just kind of like, can do no wrong. Anyways, my number 6 is from 1966. It's called How to Steal a Million. And this stars Audrey Hepburn and Peter O'Toole. Have either of you seen this?
No.
Okay. So how do you guys feel about Peter O'Toole or Audrey Hepburn? Positive vibes?
Yeah. Peter O'Toole is like Lawrence of Arabia, right?
Yep. He's Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah. And Audrey's she's my number 2 Hepburn.
Oh, really? I think she's my number 1 Hepburn.
Okay. Interesting.
Anyways, this movie is fun. It's like a heist comedy from the 60s. Essentially, Audrey Hepburn plays the daughter of a forger. So he's an art forger. He's very good. He does it for the love of the game. And one of his pieces gets placed in a museum. And then the daughter finds out that the insurance company the museum uses is going to authenticate it. And so she needs to have that not happen because the authentication process will prove that it's a forgery and her father will go to jail. And so she meets Peter O'Toole, who is a art thief and burglar, and she has to convince him to steal her father's art from the museum before it gets authenticated by insurance. And so I think that's a great plot. She's like a good person that just doesn't want her dad to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So she is in cahoots with this burglar who's like a gentleman thief, you know, and then they have a romance. I thought it was a fun movie, and I had a good time with it. There's you get to see the heist and kind of see how it plays out. The chief guard is pretty funny in it, yeah, I enjoyed this movie, and I really like Audrey Hepburn. I think she's a really fun actress. So I would recommend How to Steal a Million.
There is an actor in this movie who's just credited his stage name is Mustache.
Oh yeah, remember Mustache? Yeah,
is that and if you click on his name and you look at his picture and his roles, like he just plays very mustachioed characters. Was he a memorable guy in this movie?
He's a comic relief character, right?
Okay,
yeah, he would just be a funny guard
with a big mustache.
He was like a drunk.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. As all mustachioed men are.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I was depressed. I grew facial hair. I'm feeling better now. I shaved it. I'm on the other side of things. So hopefully you guys will join me there soon.
No.
What is it? So explain to me, riddle me this, Jamie. Talk to me.
We've already talked about this, if it's the beard depression thing.
No, it is not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
I think anyone would say you have a beard, right?
Sure. Yes.
But I don't
imagine
feel
they
like
would say that.
I don't feel like people would say, "Oh, you have a mustache," even though clearly you have a mustache. Does a mustache become just a beard accessory once you have a beard?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, once your beard is the dominant thing, I think nobody would even look at you and say, "Oh, nice." Mustache.
I was gonna ask.
Well, they would also say they wouldn't say a nice beard either. So
Zach's beard and mustache do not connect.
I think you're more likely to get a comment on the beard than the mustache. Now, there's nothing crazy about your mustache. If you had it like twirled up into like tight loops or something, you would get more comments on the mustache for sure. But since it's like a 1-2 combo, I think on your face, I think people would default to beard before mustache. Just like they would with me. There's no reason to comment on the mustache when the beard's there.
I think a beard is implied that there's a mustache unless someone says like, oh, they have an Amish style beard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Or
but yeah, if you say
beard.
Yeah, exactly. If you say beard, it's assumed that there's going to be also the mustache.
Something there for sure.
Okay.
Good question though.
Thank you.
No problem. My number 5 is from 2025. It's good luck, comma, have fun, comma, don't die. Which I think is another listener request. I think somebody in the Discord said, hey, you guys should watch this. And so I was going to watch it anyway, but also I watched it because they asked. This movie, directed by Gore Verbinski, stars Sam Rockwell, Haley Lou Richardson, Michael Pena, Zazie Beetz, Juno Temple, amongst others. Sam Rockwell plays a time traveler who is looping. So it's a looping time travel movie where he kind of shows up in a cafe, like a 50s style cafe. He just kind of shows up and he's like, okay, there's a combination of people in this cafe right now that are going to come together and we're going to save the world together. But I don't know what that combination is. And so I've been doing this like 70 times already. And it's getting kind of tiresome, but we're going to do it again. And so he knows everything about everybody in the cafe already, even though he's just a stranger to them. And he's like trying to put together the team of whoever's going to go on this run. And he's convinced that if he gets the right combination of people on the mission, that they're going to save the world, essentially. And he looks insane. If you've seen the poster or the trailer, he looks insane. He's holding them at gunpoint, saying like, the only reason I'm holding you at gunpoint is because time is of the essence. And if I just stand up here looking like a maniac, none of you will go with me. And so I'm forcing, the 8 people that he wants to take on this mission with him. Anyway, it's a goofy time-lapse movie. It's pretty much all I want to say about it. Goofy in a fun way. At least I had fun with it. It's also a little, I don't know, molasses covered. So Gore Verbinski, interesting director, mainly known for the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. But if you like Rango is his animated movie, that movie is just like not your normal kids movie, I would say. Like the look and feel of it's just a little gross. That's kind of, it's not as gross as Rango, but it's like there's a little bit of that in here. Also, his last movie, which he made in 2016, so it was like 9 years ago, was A Cure for Wellness. People didn't like that movie. I loved it. I like A Cure for Wellness a lot. I've only seen it once. I'm not sure how I'd feel about it the second time because it's 147 minutes long. It's a long one. I think that's why most people were just worn down by that movie. It was so weird, and I liked that. And Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die is similar. It's just a very weird movie that's unlike anything you've probably seen for a while. For better or for worse, it's a Gore Verbinski movie. He's just being weird. Him and his, how old is he? Like 90? Oh, he's 62. He's not that old. For some reason, I thought he was older. Doesn't Gore Verbinski feel like a guy who should be older than 62?
Yeah, and he's also seen the guy who should be Dutch.
What do you mean?
He's American.
Did I say he was Dutch?
No, just the name. I just like I hear Gore Verbinski. I think of like an old Dutch guy.
Gotcha. You confused me.
He's from Tennessee.
I literally just learned that he was American.
Just like the band. Yeah. Anyway, I had fun with this movie.
He created the Buzzweiser frogs.
That makes sense. Don't what was it? Good luck, have fun, don't die is the Budweiser frogs of movies for sure. No, it is a movie that's like very ADD. It's like constantly looping. They're resetting, they're restarting, and he's like getting a new team. Of course, as you can imagine, eventually he gets a combination that gets farther into the mission than he's ever been before. And then the question is, are they going to do it or are they not going to do it? I enjoyed the ride. I had fun with this movie. I don't think it'll be for everybody. I think just the tone and like the visuals might turn some people off. But I had fun with it. My number 5.
I'm glad to hear that you liked it because that movie looks intriguing. But it's like from the trailer, like, oh, this could be great or this could be a mess.
Yeah, from a time loop perspective, there's nothing crazy. So if you're like a time loop person, because I feel like Zach might want to watch this just for the time loop. But there's like nothing new here when it comes to the time loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like there's a twist on those kinds of movies. It is exactly a time loop movie for better or for worse.
It drops you into like day 70 of the time loop, not day 1. Or
that is a little different. Yeah. Kyle?
All right. My number 5 is a Criterion movie that I watched. I believe James actually sent this to me. And it's been a movie I've wanted to watch for a very long time. It's a very influential movie to the history of cinema, but also a pretty good movie. And that is 1958's The Hidden Fortress. This movie is directed by Akira Kurosawa. And it's probably most famous for being the movie that inspired the template to the plot of Star Wars. George Lucas saw this movie, a bunch of other movies, and that kind of formed this movie plus other movies into what became Star Wars. So I'm going to say I enjoyed watching this more as a like piece of history and a piece of influential cinema than I did actually as the movie itself. Because I thought the movie was fine. Maybe it's because it feels very familiar because a good chunk of Star Wars is based on it. But I also felt like, and I'll get into it, like the characters, when it comes to Kurosawa, I just think he's done better movies than this one. So it just wasn't my favorite Kurosawa movie. It's not a bad movie whatsoever, but I wouldn't rank it above other Kurosawa movies I've seen. So this movie, it is told from the perspective of kind of two peasants during a civil war in feudal Japan. These two peasants are clearly R2-D2 and C-3PO. And they stumble upon this mysterious general, who's your Obi-Wan Kenobi, who is tasked with smuggling a princess of one of the lands across like the warring land into a safety. That's your Princess Leia right there. And so you kind of have these two bumbling peasants along for the ride of this much bigger epic adventure that's happening with sword fighting and, trying to evade guards and disguising the princess as, another peasant herself just to kind of keep her safe. So again, from watching this from a the Star Wars was influenced by this, very interesting. There are some decent fight scenes. This does have Toshiro Mifune in it, who's the guy who's in all of the Kurosawa movies. It also has those wipes that we're used to seeing in Star Wars, where they'll just, instead of doing a hard cut, a sort of wipe from one scene to another, that happens multiple times throughout. I found that very interesting. But I didn't actually care for our main characters being these two peasants because they're kind of whiny. They're definitely in it for themselves. Throughout the entire movie, they're constantly scheming, like, how do we steal whatever riches this princess has and get away? So they're not very sympathetic. It's implied that they want to assault the princess at one point too. Thankfully, she is able to defend herself. But I'm watching this movie and being like, these are my main characters. These are I'm supposed to care about. And these guys are just not enjoyable characters whatsoever. So I didn't care for them very much. But everything else in this movie I thought was pretty incredible, or not incredible, pretty interesting to watch. And yeah, just knowing Star Wars and seeing this movie, you're like, okay, I'm not going to say that I think it's unfair to say that George Lucas ripped off this movie because obviously other elements entered into it, but you could definitely tell he was like, this is a cool framework for a story. How do I build off of that? Also, this guy knows how to shoot a movie. How do I do that too?
Nice. Cool. My number 5 was a documentary that came out in 2024 called The Dells. And it is about the Wisconsin Dells.
All right.
And their foreign student employees.
Oh, no. I thought it was about the good side of the Dells.
So, again, Kyle and I are both from Wisconsin. Wisconsin Dells is like a little amusement park haven in
touristy
Wisconsin.
Trap area. Yeah.
Touristy trap area with tons of water parks and tourist areas. America's largest water park is there. And we went to the Dells quite often, I would say. And anyway, so when a documentary came out about it, I was intrigued. And this is a cinema verite kind of documentary. And a lot of the workforce at Wisconsin Dells is foreign students that come on a work visa and work there. And it's basically like following a bunch of them around and kind of how poorly paid they are and how they're scraping by. And some of them are, living in vans, and just, yeah, everyone's just trying to, they got there and they're like, this is not at all what I expected. And just kind of what that's like, kind of a thing. And it was super interesting. I found it very interesting and super easy to watch. Definitely has something to say without hitting your head over and over about it. We meet a lot of interesting characters. And like I said, it's cinema verite. So it's kind of jumps in and out of conversations and scenes. And you kind of get this overall sense through all these little snippets and stuff like that. So yeah, it was interesting. Called The Dells.
I think when people use the word human trafficking, they often think about the worst of it, usually within prostitution and things like that. But I mean, this is an example of not salacious, but still human trafficking, where these people are they're promised, oh, come work here and have a good time. And then they're crammed into hotels or not paid well. And it's sort of the less salacious side of human trafficking, but still probably what's even more apparent than the awful stuff.
Right.
This is a very rare movie you watched. Zach.
It's a bit of a niche, right? If you care about the Dells.
Has 725 logs on Letterboxd. Not even breaking 1,000. 11
ratings on IMDb.
Wow. I'm impressed. What year did this come out?
2024. Okay.
I remember when I worked at SeaWorld, we had a bunch of employees from Micronesia show up one day. And they were like, oh, this is your new coworkers. And they had some program where they just imported people from Micronesia to work. And a bunch of them didn't even know English.
Yep.
And I'm sure, Well, I mean, we were barely getting paid more than minimum wage, so I can't imagine that they were getting paid much worse. You know what I mean? When the difference is $4.50 versus $4.25, it's not a huge difference, I would say. This was back in the 90s when minimum wage was already not enough, I would say.
I would imagine at that level, any amount of difference is huge because you're kind of scraping by. So if it is 25 cents different an hour, I would imagine that's a huge impact, more than 25 difference if you're making $100 an hour. 25
cents more an hour for 40 hours. How much is that? $40?
Yeah. So that could be your entire food budget for the week,
I guess.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine these days, but maybe back in the 90s, it was a huge amount. I don't remember. Point is, I'm not sure the Dells are the only one playing this game. For sure.
Oh, no. For sure not.
Right. That's interesting, though. Is it a lot of like talking heads or like archival?
It's zero
footage?
Talking heads.
Archival footage?
Well, I mean, it's not archival. It's current today footage.
Oh, okay. So this is happening right now.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. I missed
this.
That
This is
part.
happening right now.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there were exposés about this. I remember like the 2000s, but obviously nothing's changed.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm going to do a quick cheat and mention 11th movie because it fell off my list. But Zach, you may want to check it out. And it's Nobody 2 because it takes place in the Wisconsin Dells, not in the actual.
Oh.
Yeah, it's definitely a Dells like. I mean, they're in Wisconsin. They talk about going to the touristy trap area. It takes place as sort of like a scummy water park. You may enjoy. No, I enjoyed Nobody 2 just because part of it took place in essentially took place in the Dells. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, they even talk about going on duck boat rides. So yeah,
that's like the best fight in the movie
on the duck boat.
The duck boat fight. Yeah.
Yeah. James, I want you to do for your questions answered movie podcast is find out if the makers of Nobody 2 have any connection to Wisconsin or the Wisconsin Dells because it seems like a very specific influence to set your movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will put that on the bottom of the list.
It just sounds like already, James, you have like 4 or 5 ideas. So that's how you make a podcast, right? You bank them and then you can just release them. And
sure.
Yeah. All right, James, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is a movie from 1983 called Silkwood. I have no idea how I came to this movie. It was just a pinned tab that had been there for like months. And I was like, I got to get rid of this tab, but I don't know where to put this movie. Evidently, I thought I should watch it urgently enough that I wouldn't just throw it on my Letterboxd watch list. I literally pinned the tab. So this past week, I decided I'm going to watch this. This is a Mike Nichols movie that stars Meryl Streep, Kurt Russell, and Cher from 1983. It tells the story. It's also written by Nora Ephron, which I think is notable for 1983 for sure. Tells the story of Karen Silkwood, who worked in like a plant where they're generating nuclear material, I would say. And she notices some lapses in safety for the people that are working there. She's just like a factory worker. Everybody's kind of a factory worker in this movie. And so she notices health issues or health and safety issues, and then tries to get them to do something about it. And of course they don't want to because it's expensive and, blah, blah, blah. The corporation doesn't want to do it. And so she just kind of keeps, she goes from like a company woman to like a supporter of unions. You know what I mean? Because they kind of turn her into that because she's trying to make improvements to the work environment and they're not listening. And so eventually some union people get a hold of her and they're like, hey, you should try to form a union. And she's like, well, that's the only way to get this stuff done. That's what we're going to have to do. Meanwhile, her coworkers who were totally cool with her at the beginning of the movie are now like, you're going to get us all fired. Like we can't do this. We're all struggling. We don't, we believe in what you're doing, but we can't publicly support it because they're just going to fire all of us and we're going to be, out of a job type of thing. So there's a lot of like late 80s union politics Although I think this movie was set in the late 70s. But anyway, at some point, she actually sues the company, and she finds some like very egregious things the company is doing. And the movie plays out, I would say, from there. It's based on a true story. It got 5 Oscar nominations, didn't win any of them. I think it's generally forgotten. I had never heard of it until I pinned it as a tab and forgot why. But I did end up watching it. I enjoyed it. Meryl Streep, right? Considered one of the best actresses, I don't know, of the time that people
definitely of our
before.
era, if
right.
not of all time. Yeah.
She's not my generation, but certainly while I was growing up, all I heard about was Meryl Streep. It was like, my parents and all their friends watching Meryl Streep movies, like it was going out of style. And I'm not saying I never really saw it. It's just I was too busy watching Raiders of the Lost Ark and stuff.
Yeah, you weren't watching Sophie's Choice in this movie. Yeah.
Right. But now I've caught up with a couple of her classics, and she was really good in this. I mean, she was really good. It's not the most uplifting story. It's mostly in a factory with a bunch of people complaining. There's also an interesting like LGBT angle in this one too that I was not ready for. Kurt Russell is like a freaking baby in this movie, essentially, which was interesting as well. I enjoyed my time with the movie, it being based on a true story, and just seeing actors just do their thing very well, essentially. Another one that could have shaved 10, 15 minutes, this 131 minutes of essentially a drama. So it probably could have eliminated some stuff here and there. It would have been the same movie. But overall, I enjoyed it. If you're into that kind of stuff, check it out.
I'm looking at the poster, and Meryl Streep has quite a mullet in this movie.
Yes, the fashions in this are unfortunate, I would say, but time appropriate, yeah. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah. All right, my number 4 is not a movie that I watched on an airplane. I was watching a different movie on an airplane, but I found myself continually watching the screen of the person in front of me. I found their movie to be much more interesting than what I was watching. I didn't have time to finish it, so I went home and watched it on my own. And that is 2025's The Housemaid, which I think is the perfect kind of airplane movie to watch if you have the time for it. This is directed by Paul Feig. He did 2 movies last year. This one and then another Simple Favor. Another Simple Favor I thought was terrible. But The Housemaid is just the right amount of trash to be an enjoyable movie that I like.
I thought you were talking about The Housemaiden, and I was like, that is not an airplane movie.
No, not The Housemaiden. No.
Okay.
The Housemaid, period. Yeah. That'd be a fun list. Movies not to watch on an airplane. Though I'm wondering, I watched this, I'm on my own. I'm like, I wonder if they edited The Housemaid for the airplane, because there definitely are some steamy scenes in this movie. So
what's The Housemaiden?
That's Park Chan-wook, and it's about a Korean. No, you're thinking The Handmaiden. That's what it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no movie called The Housemaiden.
Okay, I'm sure there is a movie called The Housemaiden, but
no, I looked it up. Doesn't exist.
Right. No, this is not The Handmaiden. This is The Housemaid. Okay. Be very clear. All right. So this movie stars Sydney Sweeney, and she plays kind of a down on her luck woman who gets a job as a housemaid or a caretaker, a maid at a very rich home that's owned by Amanda Seyfried and her husband, played by Brandon Sklenar, he's just an attractive looking guy.
Some dude.
Yeah, some dude. It doesn't matter who he is in this movie whatsoever. And it seems like the perfect job for her. They're nice, they're rich, they're super easygoing. But then Amanda Seyfried's character quickly seems to be just sort of psychotic is the best word, where she's just, all over the place with her requests and saying one thing and doing another, and seemingly making Sydney Sweeney's life just a living hell. During this whole time, it's kind of pushing her husband away from her and closer towards Sydney Sweeney. And then affairs occur and secrets are revealed and mysterious pasts are, come to light. And it's all trashy. It's all steamy. But if Paul Feig can do this genre very well, And this is one of those cases where the whole time I was really enjoying this movie and all the trashiness it was giving me. A lot of that is on the back of Amanda Seyfried, who I think is actually great in this movie because she's playing her character really well, even if she's playing really big at times. It all makes sense how she's playing it. Sadie Sweetie, I'm not so sure. And she's fine in this movie. She does a lot of voiceover, and it really feels like she did not want to do the voiceover, and they just like made her do it in the studio. It's like listening to Harrison Ford in Blade Runner do his voiceover work, where it's just so dry. But yeah, it's definitely in the vein of like Gone Girl and A Simple Favor. It's I think it's based on a book, influenced by all that kind of stuff. So if you like kind of tawdry, trashy movies, this is definitely a better done version of it than like another Simple Favor was.
And of course, you would obviously recommend this more than like a Godard film.
I mean, if I'm pure, yes, on pure enjoyment, I enjoyed this more than The Hidden Fortress. I definitely enjoyed this more than the Godard film. Okay. So yeah, that's why it's my number 4.
If you were a director, your influences would not be Hidden Fortress or Godard. It would probably be more the Housemaid.
Yeah, I'm gonna make Star Wars with The Housemaid. Like, what if Leia and Han Solo are married and then Luke comes along? Yeah.
Okay. Just for the record, I too have seen The Housemaid. It fell off the end of my list, and I gave it 1.5 stars.
Really? Okay.
And I think this is why. Everything Kyle said is true.
Yeah.
I think it's a mood movie. I probably was not in the mood, and Kyle clearly was. And it's not a normal movie, I don't think. Even for Paul Feig, it's heightened over Simple Favor. And it's all despicable characters. There's like nobody redeemable in that movie, I would say. But that's part of like the deliciousness of it.
Oh yeah, deliciousness is definitely a good word.
If you don't buy into that, there's nothing here for you.
There's no good characters in it.
I mean, if it's just a bunch of people
positive
doing
characters,
bad things to each other.
Yeah,
the entire movie, they're all just trying to one up each other. Yeah,
and they all have their secret machinations and their plans and.
So I have vocabulary words this review.
I have no motivation to watch it again, but I imagine if I did, it would be softer than 1.5.
Yeah, I think 1.5 is a little rough on this movie, but I can see if you're not into this kind of movie, you're not in the mood, or you want to watch something French and arty, whatever, then skip this one.
Zach?
Well, mine is from 1981. It's not French or arty, but it is good. Called Thief.
Oh, yeah.
Thief by Michael Mann.
That's great. Is this your first time watch of Thief?
First watch of Thief.
I'm so glad you liked it.
First watch of Thief. I did like it quite a bit. Stars James Caan, and he is a safecracker. And this one's awesome. It's kind of gritty. It's very like, Chicago, like in the 80s. He is trying to get his money back that was stolen from his fence. And I think it's really good. It's really fun. And the back half is awesome. So it's kind of, you get some of that procedural element too, which I like a lot. And yeah, I liked it a lot. You guys like this movie too, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Isn't the main like bad guy also the sweet station owner from Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yes, Robert Prosky.
And isn't that super weird? Like you see him pop up and he's like, I'm going to shoot you in the kneecaps. And you're like, oh, but you gave Mrs. Doubtfire a job.
I know. It must have been weirder for people who had seen this before Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, is he a good guy or bad guy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is this the most Michael Mann movie?
I mean, have you seen is it Manhunter, Michael Mann?
Yes, I believe so.
That's a very Michael Mann movie also.
Okay.
And it has the word man in it, so.
Right. So it might be more.
It might be more.
So tell me more about this, because like obviously Heat, I think, is his most famous movie.
Right.
But you, James, are you making the case that this one leans more into like what makes Michael Mann mannish?
Just like steeped in
in style, in mood, and neon
and pace. You know what I mean? It's like just a plodding movie.
Very deliberate.
It's like the plot doesn't really even matter. The procedural matters more than the actual plot does, or any characterization.
Sure.
The tone matters.
I believe
more than
this
all
was
that.
his first feature film.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Or Manhunter, really?
Manhunter came 5 years later.
Oh, okay. Look at that.
With a movie in the middle called The Keep.
Have you ever seen The Keep, Zach?
No.
If you ever get the, you'll never get the urge to watch this, but if you ever get the urge to watch like a mild horror sci-fi movie from the 80s
with Nazis and demons.
Yeah. It's a weird one for sure. It's not a very extreme movie, despite, what you just mentioned. It's just a very 80s sci-fi.
Robert Prosky is also in this. And what famous British actor is in this?
Ian McKellen. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Ian McKellen.
Oh, Ian McKellen, really?
Yeah.
Yep. He's in it. Keep is like one of those like HBO kids from the 80s. It's one of those movies they played over and over and over again.
Sure.
On HBO. So it's hard to tell whether it's actually a good movie because everybody I knew growing up loved it, but it might be because it was the only thing we could watch. All right. Cool. I'm excited. You got to see Thief and liked it. My number 3 is from 2024, but it was one of the like shortlisted documentaries from this past year called Afternoons of Solitude. I don't think it got a nomination at the Oscars, but it was definitely a well-respected documentary that was released last year, even though it's got the 24-hour date on it. This one is, man, I wish I could recommend this more than I'm going to. So it's a bullfighting documentary. Takes place in Spain. It is graphic.
Does it have a name?
It's called Afternoons of Solitude. If I hadn't said that yet, Afternoons of Solitude. It's so it's about a pretty barbaric thing. And so if you don't want to see bulls get stabbed till they're dead, then you should probably pass on Afternoons of Solitude, because that's what's in the documentary. That's almost all that's in the documentary.
It's just that
2
over
hours
and over
of bulls getting stabbed.
So it features this one bullfighter, Peruvian bullfighter Andres Roca Rey, who's pretty good at this, evidently. And you follow him from the vehicle driving to the bullfighting arena. So it's like him and his hype crew, like heading towards the bullfighting arena. And then they show, it's just like a locked shot of them driving in like a Sprinter van. And they're talking about it. They're trying to hype him up. They're telling him he's the best, that he's going to have no problem today, blah, blah, blah. Then they get out of the van. Next thing you see, a tight close-up of him in the bullfighting arena, fighting the bull. And the camera's just following him, but the camera is tight on him. You're not seeing the crowd. You're not seeing the full arena. You're not even seeing the bull. You're just seeing him, essentially. And it shows you, I don't know if it's real time, but it felt real time, him fighting a bull to the death. And it was mesmerizing. I mean, like the way it was shot and just how intense they presented it as was just like, could not take my eyes away from the screen. And then you get back in the car with him. They don't show him leaving the arena and getting into the car. It's literally like he walks out of the bullfighting arena and the next thing you know, he's getting into the car, driving home. Then driving back to an arena, fighting another bull, leaving the arena, getting back in the car. Just 3 or 4 times over the course of this movie, him doing this, where you kind of, you understand like there's a repetition to this life of being like a performer / athlete on some level, of like the idea that like all these people are wowed by what he's doing, but like this is just what he's good at, essentially, even whether you like what he's doing or not. You know what I mean? Like there's literally no commentary, no talking heads. When he's in the arena, you're just have natural audio of the crowd, no commentators, no context. And you're seeing a guy who does get injured over the course. Things don't go perfectly for him always, but generally he's just really good at this. He's like the, Brett Favre of bullfighting or whatever. I don't know if he's the back half of Brett Favre.
Troy
career.
Aikman, maybe.
Okay,
bullfighting.
Aikman, whatever.
Yeah.
The only athlete I could think of right now. So, yeah, big trigger warning on this. You will see bulls get stabbed, and you will see them on the ground getting dragged out of the arena after they've died. You know what I mean? It is some harsh footage if you are not in that world. I was disturbed by the footage, but the presentation is so interesting. And the fact that they don't make a commentary on whether this is good or bad at all, you're just seeing somebody who lives in this world at the top level. And the way they don't sensationalize what he's doing by just keeping it locked on him, I was mesmerized by it. It was very interesting. I'm not shocked it wasn't nominated because of the sensibilities of the people who probably vote on these things. But it was very, very well made and super unique as a documentary.
It's got a good poster.
Great poster. If that poster pinged you, you got to watch the documentary. You just got to be ready to see some bulls die.
Do you know that this is tangentially related to this, but do you know my dad ran with the bulls?
I knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Ran with the bulls.
But that's a little less harsh than killing one in a ring while people cheer you on, right?
Yeah, but the bulls aren't like excited to run through these narrow streets with people on them.
No, I agree, but they're not also, the point of that is not to kill the bull. Right?
James, are you saying that running alongside bulls is not as bad as repeatedly stabbing them to death?
That's what I'm going to stand on that hill. Yes.
All right. Well, okay.
I do think the running of the bulls is not the best thing either. And I don't agree with bullfighting, but it exists. And this documentary is amazingly constructed. That's all I have to say about it.
Sure. Would you watch a sequel of it if it was equally as riveting?
Would the sequel just be more
of that?
I'm just saying, is this slowly turning James into a bullfighting fan?
No.
Where he's like watching multiple bullfights and he's like looking forward to the next one.
This is the only.
If you want to see bulls get stabbed, guys, do I have movies for you?
This movie is the best version that I've seen that I can remember of like a documentary that's just documenting something that is very controversial and does it in a way that has no commentary. Like they left no room, good or bad, for people to read into what the filmmakers think about this. I find that interesting too. Maybe it's the only way you make a movie like this. I don't know. Anyway,
how is it made by Spanish directors?
I don't know. The guy's name definitely looks Spanish. Tardes de Soledad. So I assume they certainly had some kind of access. Oh, also there's a nude scene in this movie. So just be aware.
How?
Non-sexual nude scene. Just athletes getting ready for the day. You can read into that whatever you want. Full frontal male.
Oh, okay. Keep going.
I'm just laying it out there for people who might want to watch it. It's just, that's what it is.
So was the bullfighter.
But even though that scene is in there and I wasn't looking for it, riveted by this inclusion, one, that they included it, and two, him just getting dressed for the day is insane. When you watch it, you're like, holy cow. I never would have even considered how much goes into just putting your clothes on if you're a bullfighter.
The out of context pull quote from this is, James, the male nudity was riveting.
It was.
How regressive do you guys think Bugs Bunny was towards the anti-bullfighting movement?
Did it exist before Bugs Bunny? I thought that was a fairly new thing.
I mean, well, again, that's why I'm wondering, did Bugs Bunny set it back because they showed like the funny side of bullfighting?
I'm going to refrain from opining on this because I realize I have zero insight to give on Bugs Bunny's effect on the anti-bullfighting movement.
I just conjecture. That's all. It's academic discussion. All right.
I think he brought it to the forefront.
So you think he made people aware of bullfighting and how dangerous it was?
Exactly.
Okay.
I feel like if this movie was made like in the 70s or 60s, people would be evaluating it differently.
The movie or bullfighting in general?
No, the movie.
But like, you think they would be
Solitude? They'd be like, "Oh, this was just a time and place." So we can watch this now, even though there's dead bulls dying. I think they'd respect it artistically. The fact that it was made today, or a year or two ago, I think is probably why people seem to be rejecting it on an artistic level, even. But I liked it.
It seems pretty in your face, so I can see how it'd be a tough watch.
It wasn't a tough watch. I was riveted.
Well, we've established you were, so yeah. All right, my number 3 is a movie that popped up on. I was looking at like a list of like, oh, you like Project Hail Mary? Here's some other sci-fi movies to check out. That are set in space. Most of them I had seen before, but one popped up that I'd never heard of before. That I thought, hey, I should check this one out, and I liked it enough to put up my number 3. It is called Aniara from 2018. This is a Swedish film. It's definitely a lower budget sci-fi movie. It takes place in the near future where there are monthly trips from Earth to Mars. Earth is kind of become, the climate disaster, and people are moving to Mars to colonize that. And there's this sort of this monthly, more or less, cruise ship that will routinely take you from Earth to Mars. And they've got restaurants and food and entertainment and kind of everything you need to be entertained during the month-long trip between the two planets. However, in this trip, there is an accident where the ship gets blown or gets pushed off course. The engines die. And in space, if you don't have engines and you have nothing to stop, you're just going to keep going in infinite until you hit another object, right? So this movie is sort of what happens when you, as a people, realize that this is your life now. You are on a ship just traveling infinitely into space. And there's like power's on issue, food's on issue. Like they have everything they need to survive. It's more of like, can we mentally survive this, knowing that there is no hope, or maybe there is hope. Maybe we can turn the ship around. That's kind of the back and forth. And this movie sort of checks in with the crew and the passengers, like first like a week in, then 2 weeks in, a month in, then a year and 5 years in. So you're constantly sort of checking in, and you're seeing how this ship and society is evolving as they're kind of dealing with this unexpected disaster. And it's mostly told through the perspective of a woman who works on the ship. She runs a room where you can essentially, it's like a VR room where you kind of lay on the floor, and you are shown images of Earth, like with trees and fields and everything like that. And at the start of the movie, no one it's like a novelty. No one really cares about her or this room that she has when everything's fine. But then once people realize that they're never going to see land again, then they all kind of gravitate towards her and her room because they get to experience nature and things like that. So yeah, it's a kind of almost a thought piece. It's definitely soft sci-fi, but it's just interesting to check in with these people every so often. There is, I don't call it a trigger warning, but there was definitely a moment I did not expect. And we're just going to say they do one check-in, and the ship decided that they're going to be like a lesbian cult sex for a while. And that seemed kind of out of nowhere. So like, it's a good movie. I recommend it. FYI, at one moment you're like, oh, okay, everyone's just sort of having sex on the ship right now. And then they cut away and they go to the next ship, and they've kind of moved on from it. So that was like, oh, okay, did not expect that to be in this movie. So if you want to watch it, FYI, it's not, don't watch it with your children. But other than that, it's I mean, and that's not a bad part of the movie. It's just sort of a unexpected part of the movie that I think not everyone would want to be seeing. So other than that, I really liked it and it's worth checking out.
Awesome. My number 3 is called The Duelists. This is from 1977 and it is Ridley Scott's first film. So this stars Keith Carradine and Harvey Keitel. And it takes place like, it's kind of sprawling over a large period of time, but it takes place during the Napoleonic Wars. And you basically have Harvey Keitel, who's just loves dueling, like challenging people to like sword fights over their honor. And he gets into this years long like back and forth with Keith Carradine. And they get in these like duels and they have this animosity towards each other like throughout. And it's really fun to see this kind of early Ridley Scott. And it's very atmospheric. It's like Barry Lyndon. But with like sword fighting. And like a grittier, kind of dirtier feel to it. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. It's got a great look to it. It's super cool vibe to it. I liked it a lot.
Nice. Can you see a lot of Ridley Scott in it?
Yeah, it's one of the same thing.
Not so much. You can see someone who's got like a really great eye, but like it didn't feel like I was watching Gladiator.
Sure.
Doesn't it have a really cool poster? Like, isn't it really artistic?
It does have a cool poster.
I'll look it up.
Neat. That's been on my watch list for a while. So he did this right before Alien, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy to do Alien like your second movie out?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, I mean, this is a very competent film. I mean, it's like really, really good looking.
Nice.
I'm really enjoying Harvey Keitel's pigtails in this picture I'm seeing.
Yeah. They all have these like side pigtail things.
I've had it on my watch list. Now I'm bumping it up. Okay.
It's not on my watch list, but I'm going to add it because it's got a 3.9 on Letterboxd, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah. And I want to see some dudes duel. Maybe they.
You'll see lots of dueling, James. And it's good dueling. I would say this is a good example of dueling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they duel between their legs or not? So that's the big question.
What does that mean?
Like,
yeah. Like, are they? Honestly, like, I don't know how he pulls it off, but he definitely looks like he knows what he's doing.
Cool. All right.
All right. My number 2 is another documentary from 2025. This one's called The Alabama Solution, which was a nominated documentary this year at the Academy Awards. Did not win, but I think it was my pick and I got it wrong. Or at least it was probably my should pick at minimum. This movie is directed by Andrew Jarecki, who, if you don't recognize that name, he directed Capturing the Freedmans, another Oscar-nominated movie from the early 2000s. He also directed the HBO miniseries The Jinx, which is probably the best true crime documentary miniseries that ever existed, I would guess. Have you ever seen The Jinx, Kyle?
I've seen The Jinx, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, they got very lucky with
that footage.
How they ended
that.
Yes.
Absolutely. The follow-up, not as good, but still an interesting part of the story. But that first run of The Jinx was insane. I remember while it was airing, they were like pressing charges because of the documentary.
Right. Yes. Right. Because he admitted, not knowingly on camera, but essentially on camera, he admitted to everything. And
it's insane.
And the fact that they didn't know they had that footage till years, like they were finally assembling everything. And they're like, oh, let's check this. And they're like, whoa, what? You did what?
Yeah. Some hot mic while the guy's using the bathroom. They catch him. Spoiler alert. But if you haven't seen The Jinx, even knowing that, you should see it. It's one of the most insane, but well constructed true crime documentary. If you're into that, you've probably already seen it. But if you're just getting into that and you're just hearing this for the first time, do yourself
I mean, that's
a favor.
like 10 years old at least.
Yeah,
So
go watch The Jinx. Anyway, Alabama Solution. This is a documentary about prisons in Alabama. They're horrible, as you can imagine.
Mhm.
I mean, prison in general is horrible, but evidently in Alabama, they are particularly horrible, particularly overcrowded, particularly dirty and gross, and just not pleasant places to be, as you can imagine. The political scene in Alabama is very anti-prisoner, I would say, anti-human rights for prisoners. And also happens to be majority minority in those prisons, much like pretty much everywhere in the United States, but especially by percentage in Alabama.
Right. It's worse down south than it is. Right. Yeah.
Definitely. So Andrew Jarecki and his team, they are filming something in 2019. It's while they're at this prison in Alabama filming, some inmates take their team aside and start telling them stories of all the awful things that are happening at this prison. And so they, as Andrew Jarecki would do, spend 6 years investigating what these prisoners told him and then put together this documentary. The most interesting thing about the documentary stylistically is that we're in the cell phone age. And it's a big deal to smuggle in cell phones that can capture video and Zoom chat. And so the documentary filmmakers are zooming with the prisoners while they're in prison on illegal phones. Meanwhile, the prisoners are also taking footage of all the awful things that are happening without, let's say, the higher ups of the prison knowing. How do these prisoners get the phones? Through the guards. So the guards kind of know like that phones exist in this prison and that things are being filmed, and they just assume they'll never get in trouble for any of it. Fast forward to 2023 or so. And you've got a Democrat in the White House, and the people in the prison get their message out about how horrible the prison is, their specific prison in Alabama. And becomes a referendum with the federal government. Like the federal government is going to step in to force Alabama to improve their prison situation. Of course, politically, Alabama fights back against that. The end result is pretty much nothing happens. But what's interesting is that these guys from the inside created a movement of people on the outside and managed to at least get change within the realm of possibility here.
Right.
Which is interesting. Also, just seeing cell phone footage from the inside of a modern day prison and seeing that in context, seeing guys in their prison cells talking to journalists, having people outside their door on the lookout for any guards to make sure that, they shut it down before they get caught. It's just kind of a heist movie in a weird way. Because they're doing all kinds of things that would get them in a lot of trouble. Very well made documentary. If you like Andrew Jarecki and his style, that's what it is. Not a lot of talking heads, just a lot of like in the moment footage, even though it's while they were filming the documentary. And very brave guys on the inside of that prison, for sure. I mean, speaking out against the people who have 100% control over your life.
All the power. Yeah.
And who are clearly not invested in you ever being considered a human again, I would say, or has already proven to devalue your life. It takes a lot of guts to do what some of the guys do in that documentary, for sure. Really good. The Alabama Solution. Check it out.
Sounds riveting.
Not as riveting as the other one, but
yeah. What's the male nudity situation in Alabama Solution? More or less.
I don't remember there being any.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good to know. All right. My number 2 is a movie from 2019. I have no idea why I wanted to watch this. I think, again, I was sitting around and said, oh, this looks like it could be fun. And it was made my number 2. And that is Ready or Not. Yeah. So this movie stars Samara Weaving. She plays a woman who is marrying into this rich family. They're old money. They have a mansion. They're kind of a quirky family. And, you know, she's aware of some of these things. On the night of the wedding, she has to play a game with the family. And it sounds like it's usually pretty benign. Like you have to play a silly game like checkers or chess or something like that. But if you happen to draw hide and seek, then it becomes a game of the most dangerous game of life and death, where the family's hunting you. She, of course, draws hide and seek. And then the rest of the movie, she is evading this family within this mansion, trying to survive the night without being murdered by them. So I think I was kind of aware of that premise more or less just from like background knowledge of it. What I did not know about this movie and what really sold it for me was the tone, because this is a horror movie, but it's definitely like horror comedy. Mostly in the fact that the family is not good at hunting other people whatsoever. Like they're not prepared for this. They have to use old timey weapons. They're just like normal rich people, your everyday rich people who now have to like hunt a woman in their own house, and they're bad at it. And the movie plays that up for comedy. There's even a whole running gag where they keep offing the maids by accident because like they just don't know what to do with weapons. So tonally, this movie is kind of a lot of fun because it's sort of poking fun at this whole idea of like, you know, the most dangerous game and hunting man. And, you know, because you usually see those movies and it's like the hunter's really good at it. In this case, they're not good at it whatsoever. Samara Weaving's really good in this movie. She has this great like primal scream she lets out a couple times. There's some other famous faces in there, like Adam Brody's in there. And I just thought this movie was way more enjoyable than it needed to be. And just like a lot of fun in that horror comedy genre. There's a sequel, which I'm intrigued to see now too. It's probably not as good, but yeah, why not? If it keeps the same tone, it should be a lot of fun.
The cast for the sequel is interesting. Sarah Michelle Gellar, David Cronenberg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Elijah Wood.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So it sounds like it's a completely different cast than.
Oh, no.
Minus
Samara Weaving is still in
Yeah,
it.
she comes back. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the rest of the cast is like a recast. So.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you kind of like that, it's gory, it's violent, but it's never scary. It's more just
silly.
It's silly for sure.
Yeah.
But it does silly very well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I really can't think of a movie that is more different than my number 2.
Okay.
My number 2 is a 2025 film called The Voice of Hind Rajab.
Yeah, a little different in tone.
Yeah. And this movie is kind of a hybrid. Have either of you seen this?
No,
I want to. I want to. Yeah.
Do you know anything about it? Like the premise or anything?
I know it's like a 911 call, and that like drives the plot or something like that.
Yeah. So this takes place in Gaza, currently, and it's in a call center, like a 911 type call center, right, where you call to get an ambulance. And it's a little bit of a hybrid because we never leave the call center. We're always like with the call center, and these are actors. But this is based on a true story, and the call is the real call. So everything we hear from the person calling, which happens to be a 6-year-old girl, is the real call that actually happened. And then the actors are playing the operators talking to her. And it's the true story of the 6-year-old girl whose family is killed by a tank. And so she calls for help, and then they are trying to get help safely to her before she herself is in danger. So it's super harrowing and emotional and sad, and it's a hard watch because you're actually listening to this 6-year-old Palestinian girl whose family was just killed, calling this call center trying to get help. And and it's just it really kind of brings to light everything that's taking place, and it's a very well done, good, hard to watch movie.
Is there acting in it, or is it all like documentary framed?
No, it's not a documentary. It's all acting except for the voice on the phone.
Gotcha. So they reenacted the side that's on screen, but not the voice.
I assume the script is the same as what they said, because they're interacting with the girl kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll sometimes get off the phone and talk to their boss and that kind of thing. And that's all, acting and stuff like that. Yeah. So in fact, you could even not know, you could watch this whole movie and not know that that's the real recording that they're talking to, except on the screen, it like tells you.
Okay.
At the beginning, like they set it up that the call is real or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can't think of another movie that's done that. Can you? Where like the bulk of, or like one half of all dialogue is like actually real?
For sure. I bet there has been, but I can't think of one.
I can't think of one either.
I can think of movies that have used like archival footage audio.
Mm-hmm.
But that's more momentary than half a movie or the whole movie.
I'm interested. I want to see it.
Yeah, I think it's worth watching for sure.
United 93, the 9/11 movie, that was all reenactment, correct? I mean, obviously the footage was shot reenactment, but I don't know if they used any audio.
I've only seen that once. I don't really remember. I remember liking it. I don't know why I haven't rewatched it, but
I can guess why I haven't rewatched it.
Why?
Because it's a 9/11 movie. It's not, it's like,
but it's Zach, like the good 9/11 movie.
I know. Yeah. But it's still, I mean, even though it's about something, it's well done. It's still about something really hard to watch.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a couple, answers to the question. I think the answer is no. But do you remember the movie Lock?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tom Hardy?
Yeah. Remember how that was filmed in like, one or two takes? And like, so he actually just had people calling him and he would like act live to them on the phone. But it's not like it was a real recording or anything.
Yeah.
Under the Skin, didn't they use Scarlett Johansson interacting with real people?
Yes.
Yep. And kind of like hidden camera style. And then they would say, hey, we're filming a movie. Will you come to this weird house? And
And can we use your likeness and all that other stuff?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't like a prank show or anything like that.
Right. So, yeah. All right. We are at number 1. This is our favorite movie that we've watched amongst the last 10. So, my number 1 is from 2025. It's called Waste Man. One word. Wasteman. It's a British. I don't know how my number 1 and number 2 were both prison related, but they are. This one's not a documentary. It is a drama set in the UK. It stars David Johnson and Tom Blythe. David Johnson, you might remember as the friend of the main character in The Long Walk. Remember there's like an African-American guy who's like friend of the white guy, and he's like they help each other over the course. They become friends, even though eventually only one of them can win. That's David Johnson. He was also in what's that movie?
Alien Romulus.
And he was in Rye Lane, which is a movie Kyle likes.
Rye Lane's so good.
I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my watch list.
Gotta see Rye Lane.
I need to see that. But anyway, in Waste Man, he's a guy that's in prison. He's been there for 13 years or something like that. And right at the beginning of the movie, he finds out that he might be up for parole. He thought he was going to be there like 25 years. So this is a surprise to him. And he's like, oh, so basically I just need to stay out of trouble for like a week, and there's a good chance I can get out. And so his attitude starts to turn a little bit, because he's like, yeah, I just need to be good. I need to. In the meantime, he's a little bit of like an alcoholic now. He like makes his own alcohol in the room and, does drugs. He has very little hope, but this one little piece of hope makes him feel like, okay, I need to get my act together very quickly because I'm getting out way sooner than what I thought. Meanwhile, he gets a roommate, a new roommate right in his last week, who is a troublemaker. I would say he wants to like conquer the prison. and he's played by Tom Blythe. And so the character played by David Johnson is just kind of like a meek dude, and the Tom Blythe character is not that for sure. And so this roommate pairing is like he's just trying to survive this guy for the week, essentially. This guy who's going to get him into trouble and make it so that he cannot go home. Meanwhile, there's a side plot where he's like he has this kid who was born like a year before he went to prison. So this kid's now 14, and the kid's mom has no interest in him being in the kid's life. And so he's trying to contact the mom and like get something going to where once he gets out, he can like establish a relationship with this kid. There's a lot of snuck in cell phones in this movie as well. Lots of illicit phone calls going on, and jailhouse drugs and stabbings and double crosses. And I had a good time with this movie. It's a prison drama, so there's not going to be anything. There's no romantic comedy going on here for sure. It's a pretty dire movie of people in dire circumstances who are just trying to survive it, essentially. It's a very British prison movie, I would say, in that like the prisoners are being treated decently for the most part. But they're not being nice to each other for sure. There's power dynamics going on. I just enjoyed it. I've seen a lot of prison movies. This is among the better of them for sure. And if you're into David Johnson, if you're into what I hope is like a long, interesting career from this guy, I think this is going to be just one of those movies that people point to where like The Long Walk, he was interesting in that. I haven't seen Ride Lane. He was in Alien Romulus. I'm not sure if that movie was good or bad because of him, but in this movie, it's good because of him. For sure. I enjoyed it a lot. Waste Man.
Well, that sounds interesting. It's not on my radar at all for last year. But
yeah,
I've been liking David Johnson.
I'm not sure it got a US release until 2026.
Also could be more recent. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Also 90 minutes.
You're selling it, James.
Mm-hmm.
You're selling it.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
How many reviews?
44 critics reviews. 100% critics.
Yeah.
James, when I was looking up your other prison movie,
mm-hmm.
IMDb suggested that film to me, and I took a screenshot of it because it looked interesting.
Interesting. Makes sense. They're both prison movies of recent. And they both have cell phones in them. That's probably where it stops. But
my cousin is a corrections officer. I should ask him if he's seen that.
Interesting.
Does
he see all? I imagine if I worked in a prison, that'd be the last thing I'd want to watch when I go home.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
I'd like to see how like my profession is portrayed in movies. You know, like lawyers like watching law shows and laughing at them.
But
would you watch a movie about a videographer?
Would you watch Blowout or whatever it was called?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I would.
I don't know. It would have to be. I'd have to know it was good first.
What do you guys think about American Beauty as videographers? Let me know.
I've seen several movies about podcasters. None of them are particularly good. Not that that's my living, but actually it kind of is. Not being a podcaster, but podcasting in general.
Sure.
At this point, it's taken over most of my work. But I can't imagine a good podcasting movie.
I'll say when I was a teacher, I watched a couple documentaries about teaching, or like season 4 of The Wire, which all took place in a middle school. And I sometimes it was like, this is too close to home. Like sometimes it's just a reminder that, oh, people do know that this is hard, but they don't seem to care. Like, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So. Kyle?
All right, my number one is a movie that I have owned on Blu-ray for a while. I did a blind buy of it at a resale shop years ago. But not a blind buy. I've never seen it before, but I kind of knew I would probably like it. And I ended up kind of watching it, and I did like it. And it is 2004's House of Flying Daggers. This is directed by Zhang Yimou, who I probably pronounced that wrong. He also directed Hero, which is another great movie. and then Shadow he did about 10 years ago. Another martial arts movie I liked. It stars a bunch of Chinese actors who I don't know and cannot pronounce their names, except for Zhang Ziyi. You've seen her in multiple movies before, especially Memoirs of a Geisha. She's the main actress in that. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So she's a face I recognized, but everyone else in this movie was new to me. This movie takes place in sort of dynastic China, where there's a corrupt government that is fighting a rebellion group. The rebellion group is called the Flying Daggers. And two high-ranking government officials in the police force capture a member of the Flying Daggers, played by Zhang Ziyi. And she is a blind martial artist. So they plan an escape where one of the generals helps her escape under the guise of being like another rebel, to lead her, to have her lead them back to like the rebel base and be able to arrest them. And along the way, they start falling for each other. Him obviously playing the role of being on her side and her not knowing it. So a love triangle forms, and other things kind of happen from there once they get to the rebel base and all that. But this is, being the guy who directed Hero, he does it again with this movie. This movie is absolutely beautiful how it's shot. It takes place there's tons of fight scenes. They all take place in like beautiful forests and fields with lots of flowers. I'm watching this movie being like, man, China is so beautiful. And then I found out most of it was shot in Hungary, of all places. Or sorry, actually Ukraine. It was most of the shot was in Ukraine. I was like, man, Ukraine's a really beautiful spot. Except for the bamboo forest. That was obviously shot in China. But I didn't realize that like Hong Kong productions would shoot internationally. I thought they all would shoot, within their area. So that was news to me. But yeah, if you like Hero, you like this, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that sort of wushu style martial arts. This is another great example of that, where people are flying through trees. They're doing these high kicks. They're climbing up ropes, and it's all wire work, but it's all choreographed beautifully. There is a little bit of questionable early 2000s CG in this movie, which, was disappointing to see, but it was also of the era. But the vast majority of this is, practical effects, wire works, and just great martial arts, as well as a great kind of twisty story behind the whole thing. So yeah, really enjoyed this movie. Glad I did a blind buy on it and was correct. Thought it'd be another one I was going to really like. And just everyone knows it's not like Ready or Not was right behind this movie. There's a bit of a gap between my number one and my number two. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Nice. Okay. Well, my number one is a documentary called Bob Dylan: Don't Look Back. And this is from 1967. It is a D.A. Pennebaker documentary, and it is following Bob Dylan on his 1965 England tour. It also has like Joan Baez in it, and Joan Baez is great in it, by the way. It's like a very young Joan Baez. So the reason I wanted to watch this, first of all, have either of you seen this? Don't Look Back.
I have not. My parents have a poster of this movie in their house that I grew up around.
Nice.
It's a very suggestive poster. It's a very interesting poster to grow up around as a child.
Awesome.
I'm gonna put a link to it in the chat. Oh, I'm in the wrong chat.
Okay.
Look up Bob Dylan Don't Look Back poster, and it's not just a picture. It's the second image. It's much more of a cartoon drawing.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't remember. Zach, you remember seeing this in my house?
No.
Okay.
No.
They still have it in their condo, right by the bathroom.
That's great. That's great.
Oh, the whammy bar is the suggestive part. Got it.
Mean the microphone?
Oh, is that a microphone? I thought it was
That's
the
a
whammy
microphone
bar on the guitar. That is a weird drawing.
And the unclothed boob.
I don't see that, but
look above the hand.
It's a pretty small image.
Okay. Well, if you click anyway. Yes.
I see it now.
Yeah. Sorry, Zach. Don't mean to take it away. I'm familiar with the poster.
This movie is so unlike that poster. Yeah. So this is a documentary, again, very cinema verite, which means it's just a fly on the wall, right? So it's kind of like Spinal Tap if it wasn't a comedy. It's just following him along on his British tour. And like this is 1965. He is starting to be very famous. I wanted to watch this documentary because do you guys remember my Music 101 project?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've recently gotten back into the swing of Music 101 because now with all of these cool tools available, I've been vibe coding a website for Music 101. And it's got me listening to the music again, which has been really great. But Bob Dylan has 4 albums on my list of the 101 greatest albums of all time, which that's a huge amount, right? To have 4 albums on that list. I think the Beatles beat him, but I think you'd be hard pressed to find any other artists that are on there that many times.
Do you have the list in front of you of the 4?
I do. Yeah. It's
wait,
bringing it all back. Oh, do you want to guess them?
Well, bring it all back home.
Yep. Bringing it all back
on blonde.
home. Blonde on blonde.
Blood on the Tracks.
No.
Oh, Highway 65 Revisited.
Yep. Highway 65.
Okay, what's the 4th
Revisited.
one then?
The 4th one. Let me kind of look this up since you're asking me. Hold on. My internet's stopped working.
Is it Self-Portrait? No, it can't be Self-Portrait.
It's Blood on the Tracks.
It is Blood on the Tracks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was like trying to think what's a more famous one than those 4?
Right. Yeah.
So,
It's Blood on the Tracks.
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. So this documentary is before most of that, right? And anyway, it's really good. He's like 24 or 25 in this documentary. He's such an interesting person to me because clearly like he's often called the voice of his generation, which is something that he ran from. Basically, he went into electric to try to escape that moniker and became even bigger once he did and became more the voice of his generation. But super interesting guy, just feels like a inevitable force of nature when it comes to like music. There's nothing about him that endears himself to you. He doesn't come across necessarily very well in this documentary. His manager certainly doesn't, but it's super interesting. And I really enjoyed watching it quite a bit. And it's fun to see these kind of things concurrently while listening to the music and reading, about the history and that kind of stuff. So I had a great time with it.
Nice. I have it on Criterion. I blind bought it. I just have not watched it, but I need to bump it up, clearly.
I will drop my website in the chat if you guys want to take a look.
Please do.
Kyle, you're in luck. You can buy that poster, an original copy, signed by the director in 1970 for only £350.
Oh, that's like $400, right?
Yeah, just $400.
That seems like a pretty good deal. Signed by the director.
An original signed by the director, and it looks like it's an amazing shape too. Like practically brand new. No like folds or anything. I'm gonna put this link. I'm not saying seriously you should do it. I'm just impressed that this exists.
I should buy it. Just casually put up in my house. My parents come over and they'll be like, "Oh, that." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, this old thing."
Really freaked them out.
Had that for years. Yours isn't signed by the director.
Yours isn't in pristine condition. That
my parents isn't great. I mean, my parents is like on a poster board, or it's on foam core, we're gonna call it. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, it's in pretty good condition, but it's not signed by the director.
This site's wild.
You like it?
It's all these. Sorry, I was looking at the signed poster site.
Oh.
What? Where'd you put it, Zach?
In the chat.
In our chat.
I don't see it.
Oh,
in hosts or in general?
No. In the Zoom chat.
Oh, okay. This makes sense.
I can't wait till Zach has to listen to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Right.
That's such a good album.
Yeah, there's.
I mean,
there's
it
some
is
on
a
there
good
that's
album.
Not my
No,
jam.
it really is. Yeah. I'm
It's
looking
really
at
a
this
shame that he ruined his entire legacy, because that is a great album.
That is not the Rage Against the Machine album cover.
Yeah, some of them I'm still working on things.
Okay. I can't wait for Zach to listen to The Chronic. That's gonna be a great one. Illmatic by Nas. Yep. Zach, you listen to Melancholy Infinite Sadness. Don't worry. I play it for you all the time.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you.
I thought you still have to listen to it.
He does.
Of course.
Oh, okay. How come they're not in order?
You can rank them. You can put them in order. Right. I have them chronological, but you can sort them by rank.
Because you're doing this chronologically, correct?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You're doing year of release.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That-
Okay, rank. This makes more sense. Okay, computer at the beginning, Dark Side of the Moon, Abbey Road, Revolver. Abbey Road and Revolver and Sgt. Pepper's. So 3 out of the top 5 are all Beatles albums.
I mean, that makes sense.
And Kid
Again,
A is number 6.
My thumb is not on the scale on this list because obviously I'm not familiar with most of these albums. This is consensus by like many smarter people than I talking about these albums.
How far do you have to go before a black guy is in here?
Oh, you got John Coltrane in the 60s.
No, I mean if you order it by rank,
Oh,
how long does it take?
John Coltrane is at number 60.
Oh, it's not even
Lauryn
a guy.
Hill,
It's not
number
even
16.
a guy. Number 16, Lauryn Hill.
I want
there
to be
you go.
intersectional.
Then Frank Ocean. number
Rolling
18.
Stone put The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill as the number 1 album of all time.
I think a lot of people, especially when it came out, it was very well regarded.
I love that album.
Yeah.
I listen to it regularly. It's good. It's great. Not even just good.
Yeah. And then Marvin Gaye, What's Going On is does very well on a lot of lists as well.
Yep.
I've been thinking about starting a YouTube reaction channel.
Please don't.
You should. I'd watch
No.
Where I just listen to music.
Do it, man.
Is it going to be like a fake one? Like, obviously you've heard it before. You'd be like, what? Metallica? What are they doing?
I'm not going to do this, but
Okay.
I thought it should be, and don't steal this if you're listening to this.
I'm not.
I'm not talking about you, just anybody.
Okay.
listening.
The
It would be
listeners.
called One for You, One for Me.
Okay.
It would be me listening to an album I've already listened to before and like telling people why I like it. And then whoever leaves a comment, I pick whatever the recommendation is. The next one, I'm listening to something I've never listened to before that's recommended by somebody who watched the previous video, and just flip flop videos one after the other. But it would take like an hour every time I do it, which is what keeps me from doing it.
But only
So
an
would-
hour because you don't have to edit it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also,
Less
I've
than a
heard
lot.
those channels, like, they get taken down all the time.
Because copyright
They're
material,
just
right?
constantly copyright
Yeah.
strike. They're just
Yeah.
constantly in those battles. But some of them still exist. They just fight every battle, and that you can't monetize it. It'd be for the love of the game, pretty much. So how far into this are you, Zach? Did you already say?
Oh, I'm probably 14 albums in.
Okay.
But it's been so long, I'm just gonna re-listen into them all.
Oh, really?
So I've
So
been
you start from
listening
the beginning?
to. Yeah, and again, I'm going chronologically. So I've been listening to a lot of Bob Dylan lately.
Yeah. Did you get to Pet Sounds yet?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great album, in my opinion.
In everyone's opinion.
Most people.
Yeah. People seem to like that one.
Yeah.
Man, Daydream Nation. That's awesome.
I've probably listened to maybe a quarter of these.
One thing that has really helped me get back into it is just the fact that I can click on this and it takes me right to the Spotify playlist. You know what I mean? It's just made it very easy.
Yeah. Can you add a button for YouTube music?
I could. I didn't know what people actually use.
I think definitely Spotify's the winner, But I think Apple Music and YouTube Music are pretty big audiences at this point.
Yeah, I use Apple Music.
Yeah.
Are those things you recognize by like a picture, like a round button, or would you need it to say YouTube Music?
For Apple, it could just be there is like a image for Apple Music.
I think you could put the YouTube Music icon, which looks very similar to a YouTube icon, but isn't exactly that. And people who use that service will recognize it.
God, that's what I'm hoping that they would just recognize it.
Yeah, I think so.
So the little check mark is if you've listened to it.
I might do. You can do a check mark if you've listened to it, and then if you sign in, anything you have checked, you can also rate.
Well, I'm gonna check mark. I wonder how many does it have.
And I might just do a listen and then icons for all the ways you can listen.
So you can't rank it. You can just mark it as listen.
No, you can't. No, if you're signed in, you can rank them.
How? Oh, I see it now. It's next to the check mark when you click through.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Still a work in progress.
Why this album matters says essay coming soon. Are you writing this essay?
No.
Oh, okay. Who's writing the essay? AI?
Yeah. Who do you think?
Who do you think?
But they're really good essays, actually.
Is it literally just generating a random essay?
No, I give it like it's a pretty sophisticated prompt that I'm using, but yeah, AI is doing it. But what I do is I use this program that is historians use for research. So it pulls in up to 100 sources and then writes it off of those sources. And then I tell it what sections I want and that kind of thing. So you actually, like, if there's an essay, find an essay of an album you know really well. I so far I've only done like the earliest ones, but they're pretty good. And then I'm also gonna have a podcast episode for every album. So I think the earliest four, so anything from 1965 or before, there actually has a podcast you can listen to.
Like, you found a random podcast covering the album?
No. I created a podcast.
What? When did you do this?
And I'll end up doing it for all 100.
It's just you talking about this? Or is it you and who are you doing this with? Kian. Right.
No.
Interesting. Fun. What's the name of the podcast?
Music 101.
All right.
Interesting.
I can't believe Back in Black is on this list.
By AC/DC?
Yeah.
You can't believe it?
He doesn't like AC/DC.
I don't like AC/DC. I guess I understand. I just don't. I don't know. Like,
I wouldn't put it on my top 100 either. That seems crazy to me. But maybe they are influential, if that's what the name of the game is here.
If it helps, it's number 100 on the list.
What?
It's number 100 on the list, if that helps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm just thinking of like heavy metal. Like, yeah, obviously Master Puppets makes sense. Black Sabbath makes sense. But I don't know. Throw on Melvins. That's more influential than AC/DC.
Well, yeah. Is it influential? Is that what the name of the game is here or no?
No. There's a lot of criteria. Influence is one of them for sure, right? But impact is a big one. Virtuosity. There's lots of criteria that people have used, but again, I didn't pick the list.
I know you. I know. I'm not shooting the messenger here. I'm questioning the placement of AC/DC on this list.
Because he hates AC/DC.
AC/DC,
sure.
There's nobody that I've seen that I hate, but there's definitely artists on here that I have not explored. You know what I mean? So I couldn't tell you.
But you're aware of.
I mean, the idea that the Stone Roses from 1989 is that influential or that big a deal. I don't know. I definitely have arguments with some of these where I'm like, I'm not sure. Top 100 of all time, the Stone Roses.
Or like Sugar Rose being a top 100 album.
Or like 2 Arcade Fire albums on a top 100. That seems crazy to me.
Like 2 Pixies makes sense.
Yeah, I would.
But, yeah.
I could see 2 Pixies, but I don't know. 2 Smashing Pumpkins.
There was some
no
artist I
Pearl
was
Jam.
looking at, and he's like, I was just trying to write a Pixies song. Oh,
Sure.
no, that was Nirvana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially the 90s alternative scene owes a good deal to the Pixies, I would say.
I would say the Pixies, the Beatles, and the Melvins are like probably the 3 big bands that influenced grunge in quotation marks.
Yeah. Interesting. So where's the podcast? Why wouldn't you put the podcast like on this website?
Again, I only have 4 episodes and they're on the 4 earliest. So if you sort by year ascending, those first 4 albums will have a podcast.
Okay.
You just click into them and then it's got listen to the podcast.
I see. Listen to the podcast. I would put that more front and center though. If you're looking for input, that is very well hidden.
which I'm fine with.
Okay. If you don't want the podcast to be listened to, that's a great place.
I want it very much to be about the albums, like the list.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there's any particular album you want to learn more about, you click into it and there's just a lot of things. You could read the essay, you can listen to the podcast, you can listen to the album, you can buy it, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yes. So you don't care if the podcast is listened to. That's what I'm hearing.
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Fair enough then. Leave it where it's at.
just a resource.
Cool. I'm into it.
Sorry to derail the last 10 top 10, but I guess we were done
it's
anyway.
fine. We're pretty much done.
Yeah, we're good.
That being said, thank you for listening to this episode 725, which feels like an anniversary episode, but not really. Who cares? 725? That's not really a...
It's just a kind of
750.
roundish number. Yeah.
750 is where it's at, for sure.
Are we going to do anything for 750?
Oh,
No?
for sure. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, I heard
Like
no
what?
one for sure.
Like
so.
Yes.
What are we going to do?
Somewhere
Yes,
between the
we
middle
will do an
there.
episode.
We'll do
A
an
little bit.
episode.
Yeah.
Are we going to do anything special is the question.
Probably not. I would bet.
Can't tell you.
We're not there yet.
I hope
Wouldn't
we
want to
record
tell
it.
you.
Yes. So thank you for listening to this episode 725. We appreciate your listenership. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, support us on Patreon, leave us an Apple Podcast review, or send us an email. Try to win this sweet Signs vintage shirt from 2002 by just sending us an email telling us why you deserve it. Also send us your latest top 10 last 10. We love getting recommendations via top 10 last 10s from listeners. And so please do that. Links are in the description for any and all those things. You could also support us on social media, or follow us rather, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Or you could follow me on my personal Letterboxd or Blue Sky account at YoJRB.
You can follow me on Twitter or Letterboxd at Shaban.
Find me on Letterboxd at Peter SKB.
We will be back next week with the action survival Charlize Theron movie, Apex, which is on Netflix. So if you need some homework, you could watch Apex on Netflix. That movie also has Tara Edgerton and Eric Banana. Haven't seen Eric Banana in a while, so looking forward to that. Also, we're making it a double feature with So-Ray : Wife from the Future, which I know very little about. I think it was listener recommended in the Discord as well. Like a while back, somebody recommended it. And so we're finally getting to that one. So homework, Apex, and So-Ray : Wife from the Future. We'll see you guys there. Until then, keep it cinereal.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.